What's up, all you awesome gamers? I'm the Governor, and this is the Console Corner Podcast, your #1 source for all things gaming. If this is your first time listening to the show, we dive deep into the gaming industry news, games, and everything in between. We even hook you up with some of the best gaming deals around with Foxy Deals later in the show. Tonight is going to be another great show. We have a ton of topics to talk about. We also have an awesome guest, but let's go ahead and introduce everybody. Let's go ahead and start with our awesome guest, Mr. Roby1 Kenobi. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for inviting me to the show. This is the best show ever. I am so glad you guys invited me. I wish
that totally sounds scripted, and we did not give him that.
Best $500 I ever made.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Oh wow,
now
I like him already.
Cheap. Only $500? Like, nope.
Nope.
You didn't ask for the premium package, the collector's
Oh,
edition.
damn.
That's $1,200.
That was our fault.
Scripted.
All right, checks in the mail. So we want the 1200 version now.
Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? Justin Roby, senior producer at Microsoft Studios. Worked on mini titles, titles like Rise, Son of Rome. I've worked on Fable, Forza, lots of mobile titles.
So basically all the best games around.
Yeah, for and that's why. I've been doing it for like 15 years, and it's been awesome. I have a great job. I'm very blessed, but to be honest, it's the people who do podcasts and the fans that really make what we do cool. So yeah, and then I have a morning show every morning, Morning Mixer with Jez Corden. I just like everything about platforms, gaming, play all of them, play all the games, play all the consoles, have them all. I don't know. You can watch a really great YouTube that we will send out to every email. If you can send me your email and credit card information. And I promise not to use your credit card nefariously. But if you do search for Justin Roby on YouTube, you can see how I got in the industry and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. And I want to have more views than Ken Lobb. So
nice.
That's my personal goal.
That's an awesome goal. All right,
Ken. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.
And I'm out. Peace. Deuces.
I'm out. I can talk on nothing else.
I personally, I want to thank you
watching this, because right now it looks like nobody, like we're talking to ourselves just like before. Like, am I in the wrong place to see other people commenting?
Oh, here. I'll send you. Yeah.
No worries.
I feel like people are talking. I'm missing it.
That's okay. That's okay. So, Newf, you had a couple of questions.
Yeah, well, yeah, guys, it's good to have Roby1 Kenobi. You know, it's always nice to have an inside sort of just perspective. And again, if you have some really cool questions that you would like to send to Roby, you can leave them toward the end of the show. Maybe we'll pop a question or two at him. Again, he can only answer certain ones, so you know, keep him clean, keep him respectful, and he'll answer what he can, and those he can't, I'm sure he'll give you the old no comment. But I just want to know, like, you know, I don't get to meet and talk with game developers every day. I mean, so it's an honor to have you here. I mean, what's it like when you come home and have to sort of put your job to bed, so to speak, and then you want to play games? Is it exhausting? Is it a relief for you, Roby, to come home and enjoy a game? Because I'm sure some guys are probably just like, I don't want to see a computer, I don't want to see a console, I just want to get some sleep and stuff. So how cool is it?
Wow, that was a very loaded question. I think, to be honest, I get home. So a lot of people get super excited about television shows, right? I have the same thing when it comes to video games. So a lot of times, like, I'll come home. I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'll watch like one TV show with you guys, but for the most part, I like to game. So I think for me, gaming is relaxing. It's an escape just like everybody else. A lot of times I want to play a lot of games because that just helps us do our job better. Because, you know, we'll sit there and say like, oh, mechanic wise, we should do something like Uncharted, or, hey, I really like for Rise, Son of Rome, there was a lot of looking at the inspirations behind games like Batman. So I think playing games just in your off time is super important. I'll be honest, we don't play a lot of games at work. Right now, for instance, we play Age of Empires Definitive Edition at lunch, and that might be the most of it. But for the most part, a lot of it is not playing games at work. So yeah, it's not as much gaming at work. So gaming at home is super critical.
You'll have to tell me your secret, because usually when I get home, I end up watching TV with the family until everyone's asleep, and then that's when I get the game. So if I could get away with that, like I'll watch one show with you guys, then I'm going to go play video games, I would be set.
Absolutely.
I have to get up at 5 a.m. to stream, so if that were the case, that would be super sad, because I go to bed at like 10 o'clock to be up at 5 to do the streaming. So, but the good thing is every day, at least for an hour and a half, I'm playing something with Jez, right? So, and we'll play like any new co-op game. So we play Diablo, we're playing Dying Light right now, which is the game we're mostly playing through. We'll play some Fortnite. If SheWulf hooks me up with the code like she's supposed to, if not, she's fired. Then etc. Right? So at least I have an hour and a half of games a day, which keeps me sane.
Nice. I love playing games too.
Well, at least you're lucky, because your wife plays games.
Yes, I am lucky. I have a wife that plays video games, so it's easy for me, for sure. I'm gonna play games.
My wife plays games, but she plays games at night as she goes, like a lot of mobile games. So a lot of like hidden picture, like that's like a lot of Mario Maker, stuff like that. So she still plays games. She was a big like SNES gamer back in the day. So so she kind of likes the classic stuff plus the kind of hidden picture stuff on mobile.
That's awesome.
You guys just got a new little puppy keeping
we
you up on
this morning. We showed off Emily. I just almost forgot her name. Emily. It's because of lack of sleep because of a new puppy. But yeah, we got she was a big hit this morning, and I took a picture of her wearing the Mixer hat to have the Mixer guys retweet, which they failed. So then I punched Stein in the face.
Oh, wow.
Well, putting a dog on camera during your show is always good for extra views. SheWulf knows. Right. They have a dog that likes to make little cameos every now and then.
Jumps around.
Yeah.
Yep. He likes to get all over the place.
He does.
Now that I'm watching this, like, I'm blown away at the setup here, right? Like, I'm seeing you guys have like a TV. Like, there's a whole like studio thing going on here. I feel like I'm wholly unprepared to be on the show.
Oh, you're totally prepared.
It's our garage.
You're totally prepared.
It's your garage.
There you go.
So, like a car could like come in.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
We pretty much turned it into like a full studio kind of thing for us.
There.
The Ferrari is in the other side.
Oh whoa.
Oh yeah.
Hey, don't scratch that.
The little Hot Wheels one.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yep,
for sure.
exactly.
For sure.
There. Everyone can see. Okay, get down. Without my headphones. Thank you.
All right. Let's go ahead and introduce the rest of the panel, and let's get into this craziness that is the Console Corner podcast. Thanks again, Mr. Roby, for joining us. Really appreciate it and everything like that. SheWulf.
Yo.
That was fast.
Aww.
Next up, Lady Fox Fire.
Hi everybody. Sorry I'm being all quiet. I don't know why I'm being all shy and stuff, and
Yeah, why are you being?
but
shy?
yeah, but I'm happy to be here as always. I love you guys in the chat. It's happy to have an awesome guest on here.
Obi,
so yeah.
I think you make Fox nervous.
Oh,
That's a rare.
I think he's pretty awesome so far. But yeah.
Next up, we have Mr. Newf and Nukem.
Hey, it's your neighborhood friendly Goofy Newfie in the house, ready to rock this.
Nice. And next up, Mr. Magic Mike, who's on the cam.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Can you see me? I see you.
Nice. If you're listening to us live or listening to us later on your favorite podcast site, don't forget to drop your questions in the chat so we can answer them at the end of the show like we always do. Don't forget the Console Corner podcast is in MP3 format on all your favorite podcasting sites like iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Libsyn, and all that good stuff. Google Plays. I got to mention Google Play because Fox will kill me if I don't.
Yep.
Oh my god. You're right, bro.
Make sure you rate, subscribe, and all that kind of cool stuff. It does help us out. All right, let's go ahead and get into my favorite topic of the show, as always. The games we've been playing. This is a gaming podcast, and we love talking about games. So let's start with our guest, Mr. Roby. What game you been playing lately, or games?
So I've been playing. I got my Age of Triumph on Destiny, which was actually a huge, massive feat. So I guess less than 2% of the total player base got those. So I got my T-shirt on the way. Got my Age of Triumph. Got the T-shirt. Win. I've been playing Dying Light with Jez. I've been playing Shadows of Mordor because I want to get through that before Shadows of War. And then I've been playing Age of Empires Definitive Edition.
Now, did you play Shadow of War? I mean, Shadow of Mordor before, and you're like replaying it now?
So I wouldn't say I played it. I turned it
So you
on.
kind of like dabbled in
played
whatever.
the beginning. I was like, this game's awesome. What's next? And then finally, like the sequel's coming out, and this is kind of what I always do. I was like, oh, the next Assassin's Creed or the next blah is coming out. So then I like try and cram the game like you cram a test.
Right.
And it was, I'm super sad I didn't play this game back when it first came out because it's a super good game. And the fact that you can play the Game of Year edition and the normal edition and stack the Achievos is always a win for me.
Absolutely.
Well,
like me and Mike, we have this like going back and replaying the game, not because we haven't played it or anything like that. It's because we have like this crazy OP freaking boss that's going to go into the next game. So we're like, screw that, we got to replay this game. And
he gives me nightmares, like all the time. I have nightmares about the nemesis that I had the first time I played through it.
Exactly. So,
wow, that's not good. I mean, you should like have you talked to somebody about this?
I tried, but they put me in this like place with padded walls for 7 days. I didn't know what to do, so I don't talk about it anymore.
Let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and link down below a shrink for gamers. It's only $299 an hour, but he'll help you.
Nice. SheWulf, what you been playing?
Played Destiny, regular Destiny. Then played Destiny 2 beta on PlayStation 4 today, which was interesting. And then I was also playing last week. I was streaming Call of Duty. Played a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And that's about it. Just mainly stream games.
Cool. Foxy, what about you? Gears?
Oh my god. Boy, how did you know? You know me so well. What a surprise. Yes, Gears of War 4. It's amazing, and I love it still to this day. I don't think I'm going to ever get bored of that game. Battlefield 1. A lot of Battlefield 1 as well.
Nice.
I played a little bit of Super Street Fighter 4 because it's back in patch, so I played some of that. That was fun. I made a video and everything. Played a little bit of Destiny with Tim just to get a refresher of how the game, runs because I don't know why. I forgot for a second. And then I played Destiny 2 beta today, and I'm like, wow, feels a bit different. I don't know if that's just because I went from Xbox One to PlayStation, but the game on the beta does feel slower. So yeah, I'll talk about that stuff on my YouTube and stuff. But
cool.
I enjoyed the beta overall, though.
Exclusive.
Newf, what about you, man? What you been playing?
Well, I've been playing a little bit of Ratchet & Clank, trying to catch up on that backlog I keep chatting about. Plus, I downloaded Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition. Fantastic game. Thank you guys so much for recommending it. I'm kind of like Roby. I can't believe it. I waited so long to kind of get into it, but I'm glad that I am. I'm having a ton of fun. I'm not very far yet. I'm trying to, get used to the controls and trying to, figure things out because you got to blend a little bit of stealth with action. But it's a ton of fun, and hopefully I remember to chop most of their heads off because I don't want them coming back to haunt my nightmares.
It was only $4. It was $4.
Yeah,
I know.
So cheap, so cheap.
$6 in Canada, but still a steal of a deal.
Absolutely.
$6 in Canada, that's like $200 million in the U.S., right? I don't know how these things.
No, trust me, the exchange rate is much better for you guys. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of it, I guess, in a nutshell. I haven't played as much as I'd like. It's just been I've kind of been really busy traveling and things, and been really warm, really hot inside my house lately. So I just find it hard to get in the mood like to play again, especially the stream when you're basically streaming yourself and there's like sweat just streaming down your head. So yeah, that's about it in a nutshell, guys.
Sweet. Magic Mike, what you been playing, man?
Really gross.
Well, I started playing Metro 2033. Wanted to go and replay that, and then gonna move on from that to Last Light, so that I can get ready for the new Metro when it comes out. Which I don't even know if we got a date for that. I just know that what I saw at E3 looked amazing, so I want to play that series again.
No, Metro we didn't get a date for.
Yeah, so hey, at least I'll be well prepared if it doesn't come out until next year.
Absolutely.
I've also been playing a lot of Forza Horizon 3. That's like my go-to game this summer. I think I've been playing that every week. And I started playing Resident Evil, the remake of the first one. I don't know why. Maybe it's the Evil Within 2. I just felt like going back and playing some classic survival horror. So other than Resident Evil 2 and 3, which don't have a version available on the current generation platforms, I have every Resident Evil game that's available, all the main numbered ones at least. So I just want to kind of go back through that series again.
Nice, bro. Me, shocker. I've been playing some Diablo. I'm getting ready for the season this week. Can't wait for that.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. I know. I love Diablo.
Diablo.
Yeah, I'm playing Shadow of Mordor as well. I played some Destiny before the show, Destiny 2. Fantastic. I'm actually really enjoying it. Only played a little bit of the story mission. Didn't have that much time, but that's about it for me. Cool. Let's go ahead and jump into the first topic. So Logitech buys out Astro Gaming, and what does this mean for gamers? So they brought them from Skullcandy for about $85 million. And here's something that Astro said. It's a perfect complement to Logitech's G focus on PC gaming, and we couldn't be more excited, said Jordan Reese, co-founder and president of Astro. Together, we want to make game play even more fun for gamers everywhere. The whole team at Astro has always held Logitech and Logitech G products in the highest regard, so I'm ecstatic we are joining forces. So I guess here's my thing is like, I really, and you know, Roby's got the Astro headset on. We got Astro A40s and all that kind of stuff too. Like, I love Astros. Like, Astro's just my brand of headset that I just really enjoy. And I always worry about like when other, you know, companies buy out that product, because it either happens one thing, they either get much better or they become much worse. And I just hate to see that stuff. But what do you guys think about, you know, Logitech taking over Astro?
I don't like a lot of Logitech stuff, so for the fact that they're taking over like my favorite headset of like all time, I'm a little disappointed, because it can either be an upside or it can be a real downside. And we all know most companies, when they take over a company, they always have to change something. Like, they think they can make it better.
I'm hoping they take stuff from Astro and then go to Logitech kind of thing.
I would like that,
Right.
but chances are they'll be like, well, our brand's already better, so
But to be fair,
need
like,
to.
I think Logitech has a bigger like production line to like maybe get more
Yeah.
Astros,
Yep.
maybe make them cheaper.
I was gonna
like
bring that up.
Go ahead. Sorry, man. Go for it.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Logitech, but they are much more affordable, and you know, maybe they can take some of the high quality out of the Astro series and be able to mass produce that and pass the savings on to the customer. So that's kind of where I'm hoping that it goes.
Right.
You know, the other end of the spectrum is that Logitech just wants the Astro name, and they're going to make a subpar quality equipment and basically just make bank off of being able to put Astro on the product itself. Now, I've never owned a pair of Astros, so I'm not going to notice any difference. But if I hear that the quality goes down, I'm not going to get a pair of Astros in the future, because I am probably going to need a new headset within the next 6 months or so. My headset, my Turtle Beach set from 2011, starting to wear out and get a little rough around the edges. So this was kind of bad news for me. So I'm going to have to really pay attention to see what's going on with Astros in the future here.
Interesting.
I think, as somebody who's actually worked with companies who's bought stuff like this, I think you guys, honestly, there's some super smart people at Logitech who thought this was going to be a good idea.
Mhm.
I think Astro at the same time, right? Like, they had every right to sit there and, in some regards, to say, hey, you know, we may not want to do this. I think what's happening is that Logitech is probably saying, hey, we'd like to get into higher brand quality stuff, and instead of trying to build our own, does it make sense for us to look at a company like Astro, who actually already has high quality, high end sets for that particular market segment? So I think what's going to happen is I think it'll probably end up being a good thing, especially because Astro has a strong brand, and a lot of times when companies buy high quality, and I think somebody brought up like Apple buying Beats, etc.,
Yeah.
right? Like, they don't want to hurt the brand, because that's a waste of their $85 million investment. So I think what you'll see similar to like with the Twitch integration with Amazon, etc., is that you'll see their culture integrate, and then in a lot of ways they'll kind of let them do their own thing, and then from there, like, you'll see Logitech branded Astro stuff. But I think you'll see Astro help Logitech more in their headset brand than you'll see the other way around.
Right.
Obviously, there's a cost effectiveness, but all in all, Logitech's looking to grow its brand and its identity, right? Like, for stock share, and there's a reason that they bought Astro. So I don't think I would look at it poorly. I think you're looking at something where Astro now has better resources, and probably better R&D resources and better user research to help improve their already great headsets.
Yeah.
Yeah, not only that, they could touch into the whole console area where Astro succeeds on, and everybody knows about Astro headsets in the console space, in the competitive gaming scene, and I think Logitech wants to get into that because they're more known for PC related things.
That's right.
Different
No, that's
products.
true.
Yes.
I think when you think of a company like Astro, right? Like, a company like Logitech, it's cheaper to buy somebody like Astro and start where they are versus trying to do it all.
Spin
from
up a
the
whole
ground.
new team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Interesting. New for you guys?
Yeah, and, yeah, well, I'm going to jump in and say that first off, Logitech just put the Astro in astronomical deal. Pardon the pun.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, Foxy hit it on the head because, basically Astro has made a name for itself in the video gaming circle as one of the premier headset manufacturers. But to have a little more push than the wherewithal, the marketing knowledge that comes with the years that Logitech has put behind with the PC market in general, I mean, it's only good. And to Roby's point, you don't invest that much money to turn around and make it a crap product, because we all know that once you start making products that don't live up to an expectation, that can kill your reputation in a hurry. But I think, like I said, we won't see the Astro name go anywhere, but I think Astro will continue to put a lot of the money behind the R&D side of things to better and improve their product, while Logitech still reaps some of the benefit of that particular deal, and will just help with its distribution channels and perhaps some marketing to make sure that the Astro name is out there. Because honestly, while we know that Astro is a good headset according to a lot of people that use them, like, I don't see them as popular in like the store bracket as we do with, say, like Turtle Beach and stuff like that. So like, that's the thing, you have to make sure that you get in the headspace of the gamer, because they're so, like, I mean, 5 or 6 years ago, or even 10 years ago, I guess, but 5 or 6 years ago, before the Xbox One and the PS4, there wasn't a ton of headsets. There was like 1 or 2 on the market. Now I walk into stores and there's so many, and yeah, everybody's trying to make a headset now. It's crazy. Like, even the headphone market for cell phones has gone ballistically nuts. So like, how do you differentiate yourself? Well, I think this is part of the equation, and it also helps Logitech because it takes one competitor off the board, but it gives them a leg up.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
I'm pretty sure, though, like, everyone makes really good points, but at the same time, I know there's been companies in the past that have bought other companies, and they do sometimes tend to think that they can improve it and then do make it worse. That's all. Like, it's just...
Well, of course that's going to... Yes, nothing is perfect, right? I just think that in this case, I think Logitech's brand has only gotten better. And I think that this looks like they're trying to continue
just make it
to
more.
leapfrog. Yeah, and because I'm a huge Razer fan, so I've only bought Razer stuff. And so I think this, I don't think there's a lot of fear to be had in this acquisition. My 2 cents.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally, like, I just came from the perspective of, like, I just hate to see that, because the potential is always there, even though this is probably not that, because I think, Logitech using their production and all that kind of stuff, and it's probably going to be better for all of us and them going forward, too.
Yeah. Well, I can think of an example with the TV market. Remember back in the 80s, RCA was one of the biggest companies in the electronics business, certainly in the TV market.
Yeah, they're huge.
They were like right up there with Sony, and all of a sudden, I don't know what happened with their company. They restructured, and their TVs basically, like, they're still out there. You can still get them, but RCA is not the same brand that it was when I was a kid that I remember. Everybody used to brag about them, and now they become like the cheap knockoff brand. You walk into the stores and, like, yeah, they're 3 times less expensive than Sony or Panasonic or LG or Samsung, but their products just aren't as good, and they don't last as long.
That's true. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next subject that I think Mr. Roby can't comment on, but we're going to talk about it anyway, because I thought it was really cool. Crackdown 3 had 10 minutes of gameplay shown off by the Rad Brad. One of the things, like, at E3, for me personally, I didn't think it showed well to me. For Crackdown 3, I wanted to see more of the ins and outs of it. And it was kind of just like a quick reel for me. So when I got to actually see, like, Brad with that gameplay and seeing somebody actually play it, it resonated more to me. And we see a little bit of a backlash with the whole, like, cell shading and graphical prowess of Crackdown 3. And me, like, when I look at Crackdown 3, I don't go into it as, man, these graphics are amazing or any of that. I go in looking at the gameplay of this game, because I think that's where, like, the whole experience is for this game is in the gameplay itself, jumping around, using these cool weapons like the gravity gun and all that kind of stuff. What did you guys think about the gameplay overall in that little 10-minute dealio?
I thought it was amazing. Greatest game ever.
Oh, okay. There it is.
There it is.
It's official. It's official. We're done. All right, we're moving on to the next topic.
Next
No,
topic.
I thought well, I was already excited for the game. Everything that I saw, I was like, oh my god, this looks awesome. This kind of reminds me of a comic book, especially the way they had the trailer. So I'm looking forward to it. I just want to go in there, have fun, blow shit up. And then when I saw this gameplay, the first thing that popped into my head was so sick, man. Everything's sick. And he kept repeating that a lot about everything, like all the different weapons, jumping around, and like all the things that were happening on screen. So he kept saying it was so sick. And I was like, all right.
He was.
So
like,
he seems
so
like
sick.
he's really excited. Yeah, he seems like he's really excited for it. But I can't wait for the game overall. So that was nice for me to see more gameplay, even though I think it was some of the same gameplay we already seen. I still can't wait to try it myself.
Oh, absolutely. Being
Yeah.
this like super cop jumping all over the place, blowing up everything.
Dude, he had a
super
black hole
fun.
gun. That's all I gotta say.
I know, right? It was like just bringing everything together and exploding. I was like, oh yes,
Yeah,
that's so
the
cool.
whole game is just super fun. And even though I think that was just like mini missions in the campaign, I can't wait to see what the multiplayer is gonna bring. Actually.
I was getting just as hype as Rad was when he was watching the thing, and as I was
So
watching,
sick.
I was like, so sick, and I started saying it too. I was like, oh, it's so sick, and he would say it. And I was like, what's going on?
Yep. I was like, what the heck?
About it. I mean, I know cell shaded graphics don't quite get the same love that they used to. When cell shading sort of came out, it was kind of, it set the bar pretty high, and it was kind of a unique thing at the time. Now, like, there's so many different games that have done cell shading over the years, from Wind Waker to the Prince of Persia on the 360, et cetera, the Crackdown games. Like, it takes a lot of heat for the visuals, but there's way more going on underneath the hood than just the graphic aesthetic. And I still think the game looks fine, and it's going to look very sharp and fantastic in 4K, I have no doubt. And just the amount of stuff that's going on. But, co-op mode, and anytime co-op mode, and co-op in Crackdown has always been fun. I think with the level of destruction, the things that they're planning to do with this game, I think it's, like I said, hopefully it does really, really well. And I think once good word gets out about the product itself, I think it's the kind of game that will pick up steam and should do pretty good. I mean, like I said, I think the graphics are fine. It's like the one thing about cel-shaded graphics, though, is while they might not say catch everybody's attention and eye, because you technically, the thing is they don't look as dated. Like, you can go from console generation to console generation, and the game still holds up better because you're not striving for photorealism. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you can go back and play Sly Cooper on the PS2, and it still looks better than a lot of other PS2 games because it uses a certain style of graphics. Or like Wind Waker on the GameCube. The current Crackdown games still look pretty darn good from the 360 days. So that's my thought.
Yeah, I just find it funny. Like, sorry, Mike, I didn't even cut you off there, man.
No, that's cool.
I just find it funny, like, when people like say Crackdown 3 or something like that, like, everybody I said, hey man, did you see like the new like Crackdown 3? You know what they don't talk about? They don't talk about the graphics at all. They're like, yeah man, like you could be the super cop and jump around and blow up all this kind of stuff. Not once do we even talk about the graphics. It's all about the gameplays, and it's just kind of confusing to me or weird to like hear people like really just expand on this whole like the graphical downgrade and all this other stuff. Like, it's a game. It's gameplay. Gameplay first.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, if they're going to point out the graphics, then they need to go to Call of Duty and yell at their multiplayer, because their multiplayer for graphics on Call of Duty kind of suck. They're the same thing every single year. So games really, like, yes, certain games.
Yeah, we're back at boots on the ground.
Obviously, yes, I understand that. And if their zombie mode looks anything like their freaking multiplayer mode, then their graphics are going to look outstanding. But the whole fun kind of look to it, like it's almost like the Overwatch look and all that, and that's what these kind of games just give you. They're not really meant, obviously, to give you the fine details of like the road textures or stuff like that. They're meant to more or less, it's the things going on around you that are supposed to keep your attention, not the graphics. And this game is definitely doing that. These like all these gameplays and stuff that we keep seeing, they all look amazing, and I'm sure a lot of people are super excited just to see what's going to happen with this game, and when they release it, if it's going to, go up to the par. And it's really everything that I keep seeing just makes me keep wondering: is this game going to be what it's supposed to be? Are there going to be glitches? Just a lot of issues that we've had from previous games already that obviously do focus more on graphics, like Assassin's Creed is one well-known that has amazing graphics, but has come out glitchy every single time. This one doesn't have to worry about the textures and the fine details. So does that mean that they could actually come out with this game and not be so bad in the glitching and everything else like that, because they can focus more on what they need to actually do with their game and not worrying about all the fine details?
I think Rowie is going to say it's the best game ever. So.
Oh yes.
On Crackdown News, you did see that we announced at our San Diego Comic-Con panel there will be Terry Crews there.
Yeah, we did see that.
That was one of the best choices.
Terry Crews will be at the Comic-Con panel, which is this weekend.
Is he going to be dressed up in the armor and all that?
No, he's going to be dressed up as me, because we felt like that was going to be a better...
He's going to be a playable character, and I hope that he does like some awesome, funny like audio clips or some dialogues that you can hear while you're playing.
Yeah, it's Terry Crews. I mean, that's the thing. You get to blow shit up with Terry Crews, the old Spice
Terry
guy
Crews
himself,
should,
Mr.
like, make
Expendable.
Gears
I
of
mean,
War
how cool is
references
that?
of like Coltrane.
That would be awesome. He's like throwing like little Old Spice deodorant sticks at people. People like, you stink.
Rubber ducks in Crackdown 1. We have Old Spice ducks in Crackdown 3.
Oh, nice.
What were you going to say, Mike?
Well, I was going to say, like, the big takeaway that I got from this was that the game looks like a lot of fun. And for a sandbox game, that's really what's important, is that you're always engaged, there's stuff to do, and you're having a blast. You know, like everybody has already touched on it, but the cell shading and all that stuff, if you're trying to compare this to a cell-shaded game that came out last generation or 2 generations ago, it's going to be really hard, especially on a YouTube video where you've got all the compression and different stuff going on, to see, like, you know, a huge update like this is what I bought an Xbox One for, or this is why I'm buying an Xbox One X. That's not the point of this type of game. That wasn't the point when the first Crackdown came out, and that's not the point right now. The point is to just have a lot of fun, and that's what I took away from this. It looks like it's going to be a game that's just like crazy fun to play. You're super powerful. You've got these crazy weapons. You're going to be able to, like, you know, if it's anything like the previous entries, you're going to be picking up cars and throwing them and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and, you know, getting all those agility orbs. I mean, that was an obsession when the first game came out, to get all the agility orbs and to find everything else going on. In any game that can engage me like the first one did, it's going to get my money. So I'm looking forward to this game. And the more I see of it, the more I want to get it when it comes out. I was kind of on the fence whether I was going to get this, you know, day one, because, you know, there's a lot of games coming out this fall. And especially with the One X coming out, there are going to be a lot of games that I've already played through that I'm going to want to revisit. Just
first
because they're
problems,
going to be getting
bro.
these enhancements. I know.
That is actually a question I have.
Where is that unfriend button?
Oh, okay.
That is a question I do have, though. For this Crackdown, do you have to play all the other ones to understand the story in this one? Like, does anyone
probably
know? Like,
doubt it.
No,
I don't think so.
Roby,
I don't think so.
Roby,
Yeah.
I can't comment.
can you answer me this one? Do you need to play the other ones to understand the story in this one?
I think you will be just fine. If you just picked up with this one, I think you'll be just fine.
Okay.
The game is about action and adventure and all the crazy things that you can do.
Yeah. I can't say more than that, but I think you'll be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's all
No,
I
you
needed
can
to
call
know.
me. I'll walk you through it. We'll talk about it.
Make some new
You
stories.
can make me a whole story for it.
That's right. So basically, the story is there's this like really angry dolphin. Just kidding.
Nice.
Wow.
No, if people want to hear that story, it's an exclusive on Mixer on his channel.
Nice.
SheWulf and how
Roby
I
probably
lost
knows
my
the answer
leg.
to my question, but he probably can't answer. But I don't know if anyone on the panel does. Anyone know if the game has like custom characters in this one, or it's a preset? It's been pretty badass to create your
I
own.
thought what we saw was like there was like a set of characters.
Right.
I know
If it's anything
Doc's
like
like
the-
one of them.
Yeah, if it's like the first two, it was like, you know, you had a like pre-made characters and you could choose which one you wanted. It wasn't like you got to customize it with like sliders and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and talk about some more Xbox stuff. So
dong slider.
we had a huge Xbox.
Yeah, I knew
One-
you were going to talk about that, man.
I know.
Wow, no chills.
No chill. All right, so we got a huge Xbox One update dropped July 13th. A lot of us in the Insider program already had a lot of this stuff, and it's pretty cool. You get to upload your custom gamer pick, but you got to be careful. Don't be stupid, people. You're going to get banned. You get taken down, all that kind of stuff, so don't do that. I think Roby was telling us before he got banned a couple times already with the picture.
Yeah, I did.
You get to go to co-stream on Mixer. You get to sync your controller, which I thought was really cool. You sync your controller to your profile, and it's one-click sign-in kind of thing. It knows that controller. It knows it's you. It's got cool AI.
I thought it already did that.
It's got Skynet and Xbox.
Oh my
right
god!
now.
already did that.
I was waiting for GKV to. I was waiting for GKV to finish so I can say that, but yeah, SheWulf said it. There you go.
I thought that the controller already could sync. All you had to do was just like turn the thing on, and it turned your Xbox on.
I didn't know this.
Like, you didn't know.
Why
that?
didn't you tell me this?
How did
No,
you
this
not
is a
know
new
that?
feature.
You've been able to turn on the Xbox with the controller. It's just the ability to know
Sign
that
in.
controller is your
That controller signs you in
Yeah, yeah,
automatically, right?
But you
Which
can
I-
set your
I was super
Xbox to
happy.
automatic sign in for you. So, like, are you talking about like you can like sync like say if there's like 5 like
If you hit the button
say
now,
if there's like 3
Yeah, you're right.
profiles.
You could do that. You could do that. But the thing is that, like, for instance, my kids, they have their particular one. So that on their Xbox, like, or a lot of college students, etc., like, they don't have automatic sign-in, or they'll protect their accounts with passkeys. And then, you know, so it's a good one for families, right? So
Yeah.
I love it because, like, now when I go downstairs and I play on my one downstairs, I have my controller that's mine, and I push the Elite, and then it lets me sign in. And then my kids, they'll do their own when they play with their Minecraft thing.
Now, Roby1 Kenobi, maybe you can answer this for me because I haven't started this up yet since the update rolled out. But, you know, I use an Elite controller, and that's the one that I would like to assign for my personal sign-in.
Yep.
And like you were saying, I have a family. I have my kids that use my Xbox. I have a pass key set up on my profile so that when I sign in, I have to put in a 6-digit code on my controller.
Correct.
And that prevents the kids from purchasing things in the store without my approval and things like that.
And
If
midget
I
porn. Those are both
Right.
things that we do.
Right, yeah, that too. So if I set up this instant sign-on on my Elite controller, which my children know not to touch, they know very well, don't touch the Elite, does that mean I can bypass putting in the 6-digit code? Like, I don't have to do that when I
I
want to
just
start
see
playing
like
a game?
Mike's kids
No,
like
you
going
still-
close to the
still have to put
controller,
in your
like freaking out.
You have to put in your passkey.
Okay, I still have to put in the passkey. That's what I was wondering, because I wanted to test this out, and I wanted to talk about it, but I was like, I don't really know if this works or not, but I'm going to try it out this weekend.
Yeah,
Mike-
your passkey still has to work because it still has you whatever you sign in, whether you did like basically make it easy, no barrier passkey or whatever it was, it still respects those. It just means that when you touch that controller and you log in, it says, okay, I'm trying to log in as you.
Okay, so I don't have to put my Elite controller in the fire safe, then, is what you're saying.
No.
That's good.
Well, I guess
I
that really
should.
sucks for anyone who has matching color controllers then.
Why would you have matching color controllers?
Because if you get like 4
Because
white
you're awesome.
controllers. Or Mike, you could always just do what me and GKB did and just buy your kids each their own Xbox.
Well, we only have the one TV right now. We don't let the kids have televisions in their rooms. So until I get the One X, then I'm going to put a TV down here in my game room. There wouldn't be anywhere for them to hook an Xbox up to.
Nice.
Yeah, my kids just have their controllers, so that's their thing.
Can I have multiple controls on one account? Like all of them under my name?
You know, I'll boot up an Xbox right now and find out. I don't know, actually, no.
Wouldn't you just want to set up the instant sign-on for your console to always sign you in then, and then every Xbox controller is already doing that?
Well, no, because what if you have kids and everything?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you
yeah.
need to have. Well,
Why
Fox
would you
doesn't have-
assign all the controllers to your name?
Because
Then-
what if she has like 3 of her favorite? Okay, so
What if she has
My
one controller
brothers.
for every
I'm just
day?
saying, my
She has,
brothers.
like-
My brothers. They
These are
use
some
the
crazy
console.
hypotheticals.
So what if like say Fox
controller
and
for
her
every
2
day.
brothers, but she's got like favorite controllers. So she's got like the Gears controller, she's got an Elite controller, and she's
Yeah.
got like I don't know, a Halo controller, and she likes to use all of them. So can she sign in using any one of those 3 controllers?
Yeah, it looks like it's your controller. It's like any control. Like, so, like, this is the controller I have, and I can assign this one. So if I pick up another one, I can assign this one to this profile as well.
Okay,
Nice.
So you can have.
cool. So it's synced to the
Interesting.
controller itself, not the
the
account.
controller that tells it whether
Yeah.
it's not the Xbox.
That's
And
interesting.
why
Use the
Microsoft-
force on that shit.
that's why Microsoft lets you update your controllers and all that kind of cool stuff to do this cool thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still don't have to do it. So, and anybody touches Echo, I'll break their hand.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to touch it
Echo
right
is
now.
special.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I
Warn the
named
kids.
my Elite controller. Its name is Echo.
So
Warn the kids.
what does
Oh,
everybody
wait,
think?
hold on. Wait, no, sorry. No, it is only one controller.
Oh.
Oh, man. I'm selling my Xbox right now.
Go ahead.
I'm done. I'm done. I
Quit.
can't take this.
That's
Leaving
awesome.
Microsoft. I'm done.
Hey,
So-
you know, it's fine. It is what it is. Like, you know, there's a limit to everything. But, yeah, at least you have the option to do that now,
Hey.
even though I thought we already had that.
Hey, back in the old days, you just hide away the controller you like the most, and you leave the old crusty,
Yep,
like
for guests to come over.
potato chip stain ones out on the table and
Like
see
the
which
A
one
button
they
doesn't
pick.
work. Yeah.
Oh man,
What?
if anybody ever touches my controllers with Cheeto hands, and not just my Elite, but like any controller, like from my Sega
Cheeto
Genesis
hands.
all the way up through like current controllers, like they were not allowed back in my house.
Nice.
Ew.
Arena mode was also added. We can do custom tournaments with Killer Instinct. I want to know, when can we do tournaments for other games?
That's
besides
my
games?
big question too. I mean,
The
this is a
game.
great addition, but
It's up to the game.
Depends on the game.
Yeah, they have to implement it. Yep.
Okay.
oh,
All
Yeah,
right, so
get
now I
on
gotta
that
start
Halo
Yeah,
gear.
let's start screaming at devs now. Everybody, go to Twitter, scream at them, start doing tournaments.
It's always
Yeah,
up to the
think about it,
devs.
it's like anytime like a new feature comes out, right? Like as it's the platform that provides it, and then it's up to the developer. I think you've heard this a lot from like P3 and from Mike, right? It's up to the developer to take advantage of those things. We just provide them the tools, and then it's their choice to whether to use it or not. So Arena is a platform feature. So,
Right.
sort of-
See, now I just want to
Nice.
make this clear. You all heard it from him. If the devs don't use these features, it is not Microsoft's fault. Don't go yelling at Microsoft if your favorite game
You don't
is
tell me
not
what to do.
doing
Don't ruin my
something,
fun, okay?
because it's not
Developers,
Microsoft's
developers,
fault. They
developers,
give them
developers.
the tools. Exactly. It is. It is.
You want to yell at us and it makes you feel better? That's fine. We have very thick skin, but
I bet.
some of us don't. So I cry every night. But
Aww.
I don't believe it. Don't believe it.
but yes, that is correct, right? It's like we give the tools, and then it's up to them to decide whether they use them. Now, in some cases, right, there's things like certification where we require things like achievements, etc., right? But we do not require everybody to use Arena or or even like for instance the images, like for instance some achievements like just have like a 1 on them or whatever it was, like not like versus like Battlefront, who has these amazingly awesome pictures that you can use as backgrounds. That's up to the developers to basically do that sort of thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's taking full advantage of what the Xbox provides.
I wish you guys would standardize achievement scores, though, like for them, instead of getting like a 3, a 2. Oh my God, it drives me
oh,
crazy.
that's such a pet peeve.
Ugh.
Yeah, and that's again that we give best practices, and we have lots of white papers and stuff like that to say, hey, here's what annoys gamers and not, but it's really up to them.
So what you're saying is devs just say, screw them. We're just going to do
Sometimes
it anyway.
devs hate you. It's really true, right? Like, but yeah, that's up to the dev in terms of how they break it up. We just tell them, hey,
They're
you
like-
can't have any more than X number of achievements, and you can only have so much gamer score per quarter, etc. But we don't tell them how to break it up.
Nice. Is there like
And they're like, got him.
for the arena, and I don't know if you can touch on this or not, Roby, but is there a way to like set up a bracket on our own? Maybe not even like game specific, but maybe for like clubs or something like that down the line, or something
I
like that.
have no idea. Like honestly, I haven't played with the feature a whole lot. Like sometimes,
Me neither.
like, so we're on a ring of the Xbox Insider Hub too, right? And so we get to see some of the stuff as early as you guys do. But sometimes it's like we're about as surprised as yours. Like, oh, that's awesome. And then a lot of times, like depending on the game, like they'll come out and reach out to us and they'll be like, hey, so we know that you're working on, Age of Empires. What might be good for you is this, this, and this, and we just want to make sure that you know what's coming down the pipe. So yeah, it just there's a lot of collaboration, but at the same time, right? Like Microsoft's really protective about making sure that us internally, right? Like that we're showcases for those things, but we don't like their third-party games. We want them to come there, so we don't want to feel like we have an extra advantage. So sometimes we're as surprised as you guys are.
Oh, interesting. That's pretty.
Hey,
cool.
we want to have a
question.
relationship with our developers.
The custom gamer picks, are they available now for everybody, or is that still a wait and see unless you're in the preview program?
No,
No,
that's
they went.
For everybody.
They're there. I have my custom.
Okay. I was just misunderstood. I was thinking like you still had to be underneath the program, but that's pretty cool because I want to get mine up here right away.
So for anyone who wants to know how to do it, there is videos posted here on the Gamers Knows Best channel on how to do your gamer picks.
Shameless plug.
Shameless.
Oh, I know how to do it. I just wasn't sure if it was available yet.
Well, I didn't
Newf,
say it was for
I'm not
you.
even,
I said it was for anybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but, I'm not in the insider program, and
stupid.
like I'm not in the insider program, but I was able to upload a custom gamer pick through the Xbox app. About
PC.
maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, the beta.
Yeah, it's been available. It's been open if you've been able to go through other channels. Like now, it's available for everyone on the console itself. I think is the new update.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I did it on the Android phone with the Xbox app, the beta app, and I just uploaded it through there.
Yeah.
But also, we could put a custom picture on the clubs now as well.
I think that's
What I
good.
saw in the update.
That's
Yeah.
been there. Wasn't it? Wasn't that on?
I
before?
think.
Well, I thought you could use
Well,
the
I
icons.
guess if you're in the alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that's open for everybody now. That's
yeah,
what
it's
I'm
open
saying.
for everybody. Yeah. Yeah. I think the
And,
update's really cool. They added a lot of quality of life improvements that I thought was really awesome for everybody out there. Sorry, Fox, go ahead.
No, I was just to say my favorite thing is the mixer, the co-streaming. You could do
Oh,
it right
for
there
real.
from the party chat. I thought that was awesome. As soon as I saw it, I got super excited
That's
about
one
it.
of the coolest like implementations that I think Xbox done to date so far is like adding Mixer into the whole like even Windows 10 and all that kind of stuff and doing co-stream. Co-stream is like fantastic.
But you
Oh,
know
not only that-
what, Roby, you need to tell Mike if you're ever in like stuck
Josh
in a
Stein.
bathroom with him or something. You
Wow.
need to tell him and be like, hey.
Like, of all the places to tell him, like,
In the bathroom, corner him in there.
Not me.
the
Not
only
me,
place I
right?
can
You're
do
talking
it
about a
is
different
when I'm
mic.
stuck in the bathroom with him. Like, is that the only time I can have this thing? I just need to know what the context is. I'm really afraid right now.
Obviously, it can be anytime. But getting overlays. Allowing streamers to actually put in overlays for Mixer through the Xbox One app. Or through the Xbox One itself. Because a lot of us use OBS because of the fact we like overlays. But if we could do that through the Xbox, you'd probably see a lot of people actually only use the Xbox for streaming.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, I can't talk about
I'm
it
gonna
anymore.
pass it off to Josh Stein. He'll take this over.
Nice. That's
Wow.
funny. Yes, SheWulf, I agree. That would be cool. They could do that as a separate app, and then you could download that and apply it while you're streaming.
And I want to see being allowed to use other webcams instead of just a Connect on your Xbox. So when you're streaming,
Oh,
you
right.
can have like a stand.
Mike and Phil actually
Much.
did tweet that they're trying to get that was a tweet from them.
Oh, okay.
They're working on that stuff.
Good.
Sweet.
I'd like to see that because I'd like to
Logitech.
use like a yeah.
Logitech C920s, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I have I don't know what I have. Logitech something.
Nice. All right, let's go to move on to the next topic. Update's really awesome. People freak out and overthink rumors of the Xbox One X delay, which I don't even know why this is a thing. Like Phil and all them came out and said, "Hey, it's the FCC for the delay. They have to go through all this government approval and
It's
all that
just a
stuff before they can do."
pre-order.
Well, that's my thing too. Is like, why are we freaking out? Like, if you like pre-order the day before it comes out, you still pre-ordered it. You're still gonna get it.
Well,
You know-
and here's the other thing. Like, how many times have you pre-ordered a video game and the game got delayed? Like, a game or a hardware delay
South Park.
doesn't impact the pre-order availability.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For that, I can say South Park. I still have your pre-order sitting in Amazon for the last year now. So, like,
Get your game out.
yeah, exactly. But it's literally like complaining about a pre-order is just nonsense. Like, if a
I mean,
pre-order gets delayed, first off, the system still isn't coming out till November, regardless of when a pre-order is. Like, okay, so what?
Yeah,
You
that's
want to
what I'm
go
saying,
like waste money and just set it on a console for it to? Sit
Well,
there?
I think like they showed like the Xbox One off like at last E3. You know, people were waiting for a year. Then they finally show it. Here it is. You know, Beast and all this other kind of cool stuff. And like people just want to run out and like put their money down on. I totally get that. Like
Why? So you can say, "Oh, I pre-ordered." Guess what? You
You
don't
still
have
gotta
it.
wait, yes, I
still
totally
don't
agree.
have it. I don't care if you
Well,
pre-ordered it. You still don't have it.
The thing is that but I mean, like, look at how hard Nintendo Switches were get if you didn't pre-order when you did, right? So I think
Yeah.
people just want to know that they are
They
going
have
to
it.
get their Xbox One X.
Paranoia.
Oh, no, as soon as pre-orders are open, I'm going to the store and I'm pre-ordering one because I don't want to have to, sit in the line at a midnight launch or anything like that. I just want to put some money down, guarantee that I'm going to get this hardware, and go pick it up. I'm very anxious for pre-orders, but the fact that pre-orders haven't come out yet has never led me to believe that there's a delay in the console launch.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was like thinking too. Go.
Well, and honestly, I feel like a lot of this whole Xbox One X is being delayed. That's coming from fanboys who probably were never going to get an Xbox One X in the first place, and they're just trying to light fuel under the fire.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there was nothing substantial to actually, accreditate those rumors. That's all it is. Like
Just
Mike
rumors,
said, just
conjecture.
people just trying to start fire and flame over nothing. They're on track. The XX have come out on Twitter and said everything is on track. I mean, you don't come out and make a big announcement of a console release and then kind of botch it. I don't remember. Has any console ever been actually delayed from the release date outside? Well, I think Nintendo Switch meant to release last winter, wasn't it? But then they moved it till the spring.
Mhm.
But Microsoft as well, to their credit, they've never been stingy like freaking Nintendo with the market. I mean, outside of the Xbox One, there was quite a bit of demand for the first few months, and then they managed to resupply the stock fairly well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not too hard to find one now for sure, but I think they'll do just fine. We still don't know exactly what the demand is overall for the Xbox One S. I mean, a lot of us hardcore guys, everybody on this panel is pretty damn excited about it, but you know, we just
could it also be like this lack of pre-orders is almost like some sort of guerrilla viral marketing campaign where, you know, everybody wants what you can't have. The more people talk about not being able to pre-order the Xbox One X is the more people that are talking about the Xbox One X coming out soon. So, you know,
it works for Nintendo.
You know, like, you know, who knows? There could be, you know, more behind this than just FCC regulations and working out deals with retailers and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, it could almost be like let's just dangle this above their heads where they can't reach, and then they're going to want it even more.
I don't think personally like Microsoft
customers. So I don't like. I'm not sitting in Phil's and Aaron's office and asking those questions. But I really seriously doubt we're doing that.
No, I don't think so either. But you know, I can't throw it out there as being off the table.
The problem is that they knew that I wanted to order a large number of them. So the thing is, they want to make sure I get mine first, and then.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Really, I thought they were actually like not letting them out because you wanted some, so they were kind of like trying to, you know, blacklist you from it. And
I had told Aaron, I was like, hey, and I quote, I would like to build a Xbox One X igloo.
See, now, I heard there was a community
so small. Don't you want to build a castle?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm thinking too small. So I'll go ahead and talk to them and take care of that.
I know Robbie just wants to buy like 1,000 of them, so that way he can scalp them and then quit Microsoft next year, that way he can live on the province.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Is that what you did with the NES Classics? Did you just take them to eBay and sell them?
That's. I mean, it's why I am who I am. It's a
okay. You heard it here.
You guys are trying to get him in trouble, poor guy.
Phil's gonna call him in the office tomorrow and be like, "What happened last night?"
What
He's
happened?
never coming back on this show.
Be like, what, Phil? Hold on, let me move all my NES classics over.
Nice.
Oh, that was too funny.
But do you have a 4K TV? Just curious.
Who? Me?
Robbie.
Yes.
Yeah, Robbie, did you upgrade? You got one? Yeah. Okay.
I have quite a few of them.
Nice.
Okay.
I have an igloo that I'm building.
Not everybody does. Okay.
You
He
have to have
needs
one for each one.
every wall.
Exactly.
Yes, I need one for every igloo. My igloo will be surrounded by an igloo of 4K TVs. Yes, I do have 4K TVs. I have the biggest one, the one that I got, and every one of them is a 4K HDR. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm ready.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, guys, it's 8 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and do What's Out Now with Magic Mike. What can we go spend our money on there, Mike?
All right, I'm not going to do the little song because I'm on camera this week. So. All right.
Roby's on. Come on.
All right. Bang, boom, kapow. It's What's Out Now.
Hey!
All right.
Scrotum, if you're listening, we need this.
I think he wants Mike to pay him for using the song twice now. So
I'm in violation of copyright. So, anyway, last week on Wednesday, July 12th, for the PC, we got a game called The End Is Nigh. It's a platformer. It's kind of like Super Meat Boy is what I see the comparisons to. So, if that's your type of game, go ahead and check out The End Is Nigh. Also, last week on Wednesday, July 12th, we got for PC, PS4, and Xbox One a game called Iron Cryptical. It's a twin-stick arcade-style shooter-esque with RPG elements. Looks pretty interesting, so if you're looking for a cool indie to pick up, there you go. Then on Thursday the 13th, for the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PS4, we got the Neo Geo Fatal Fury Special. I mean, come on, people, it's a Fatal Fury game from the early 90s. If you don't know what it is, check it out. There's a lot of information on it because it's been around for quite some time. Then on, let's see, wait, is that today? What's today's date? Yeah, today, July 18th. All right. On the PS4, we got the Destiny 2 beta early access. It's the newest DLC beta. I'm sorry. It's the newest sequel for Destiny and one of the biggest cash grabs. I'm sorry. I mean, the MMO like shooters of this gen.
Pew 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 pew.
I'm a huge Destiny fan.
Like, SheWulf was playing it, right? Like, people have been playing it all day. What do you mean? Is that today?
You know what? I've been at work until I got home and did Console Corner. I'm sorry. It's been one of those days at work. That's all I can say. Also, for today on the PlayStation 4, we got Orcs Must Die Unchained. This game came out back on PC in April. It's a tower defense game with team-based gameplay. It's very PvE, co-op survival, no PvP stuff or anything like that. So if you like those tower defense type games, check this out. Also today on PC and PS4, we got Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. This is an open-world adventure game, kind of like Zelda Breath of the Wild, but there's no combat, so it's kind of more like Harvest Moon. I don't know what that means, but go ahead and try to play it if that's your forte. And then coming up, it's not out now, but it's coming out tomorrow, Destiny 2 beta early access for the Xbox One. Woo-hoo. You already know my feelings on that, so I won't reiterate.
He'll play it and then want to buy it.
Yeah, you will.
I will. That's totally what's going to happen. I'm going to play the beta, not the early access because I haven't pre-ordered, but come this Friday, I'm going to play the beta. And if it's anything like what SheWulf has been telling me, damn it, I'm going to buy this game again.
It's so good. It's so good. I only played like 30 minutes of it, and I'm super stoked.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed it. That's what's out now.
Sweet.
Hey, well, don't forget, Splatoon comes out on the 21st.
Oh, does it come out on the 21st?
Ooh, I'm
The
returning
21st.
So in a couple days.
The beta for people that didn't pre-order.
Sorry, what?
There's a beta for Splatoon.
Those are very different games.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about
I'm not
Destiny
talking
2.
about Destiny.
No. Okay, hey,
Mike,
okay.
you gotta stop drinking that wine, bro.
Let me go back over what's out now.
Put
So
the
July
glass
21st
down
is not
and
out
walk
now,
away.
So,
Well,
that'll
no,
be
it's a
next
couple
week
of
what's
days,
out
but
now.
it's still within the. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have Splatoon 2 next week.
Console
Spoiler
wars,
alert.
You know? Nintendo likes to do that Friday, Sunday release date thing.
You guys are nuts. Nuts, I tell you. Cool.
All right.
So we got done with what's out now, kind of, sort of craziness.
Yeah, that was done with it.
Oh, I forgot all the stuff that came out to backwards compatibility this week. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh my gosh, Mike.
Nothing?
Oh my god.
Did anything?
You're fired.
Hey, we got quite a couple of additions to backwards compatibility. We got Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition.
Yeah, I said that.
Hey, that's a big one. Frontlines Fuel of War, Quantum Conundrum, Virtua Fighter 2, and Costume Quest 2.
I think Roby's like made everybody nervous tonight, and we're like all off.
I'm not nervous.
Oh.
And I'm not off.
Let's see what happens with Foxy Deals. Oh, I'm going to mess that up so
wait.
bad.
Cannot wait. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next topic here. Xbox Gamescom schedule has been released. This is what they got to say. We're happy to announce that in August we're coming to Cologne, Germany for Gamescom 2017. There will be God, see, I can't even talk now.
What's going on?
This will be this will be the first time Xbox One X will be on the ground in Europe, and we'll have a huge lineup of 27 playable games for the Xbox One family and devices and Windows 10 PC from developers around the world, including Forza Motorsport 7, Age of Empires, a definitive edition, and Sea of Thieves. Woohoo! So Xbox Gamescom's live on on August 20th. Age of Empires live stream is on the 21st. Xbox Fan Fest is going on there as well, and Xbox is going to have a booth so you can enjoy all these cool, crazy games.
So, are you going to be in the Age of Empire live stream?
I will not be in the live stream, but I am definitely going down to. Will be at Gamescom.
Nice.
Lucky you. That is like one of the biggest things on my bucket list is to go to Gamescom. I would love to go to Gamescom, but it's in Germany.
This is my 7th one, and it's awesome every time.
Can you just put me in your suitcase? Oh, I don't care. I'll sit I will go in the bottom of the freaking plane. I don't care. I will sit there and I will wait patiently until we land.
Wait, is SheWulf considered to be a carry-on?
Yeah.
But no, I heard.
Ask Mike Ibarra, so what's the coolest thing about Gamescom? He said the whole thing's cool. He's like, prepare to get trampled. It's crazy.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, a lot of people.
It is insane. Like it's 300,000 people.
Isn't the Prime Minister of Germany isn't
she's opening
she giving the opening speech? I mean that's awesome.
Yeah, she's opening it. I will be there. Yes, it's going to be a good time. I'll be hanging out with the FanFest guys. I'm doing stuff on the floor. It's going to be insane. It's a very long week, but it is a very satisfying week.
You're going to be the guy on the floor standing behind the pile of NES classics?
Yeah, pretty much. I would be like,
These are mine.
awesome price. €499, 499 bucks.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I think like E3 like has that like whole media vibe, and I think it's like, you know, the premier thing for the gaming industry and all that stuff. But I like SheWulf too. Like, I love Gamescom just for the fact that it's just open to the public and just a madhouse of really cool
I
stuff.
just find it's about the games. Like, it seems to be more about the games where
And the gamers.
Yeah, and the gamers. Then where E3 just seems to be more about impressing this, like, the journalism of it. And
Yeah, that's why they have a stage and they're showing off all the fancy stuff, you know, and all the cool trailers, which I do like, though. I'm not gonna lie. Because I can't
But
go.
Gamescom has that kind of stuff too, just not as big because of the fact they have E3, who
Well,
they
they're not-
want to impress the press.
This is
I
the
love
second
that
year they're
the-
not doing a stage presence, right? Like a whole conference thing.
No, I thought they were doing some sort of a conference show.
No, I don't think so.
Robbie,
I
are
don't
they
think
doing
they
a
are.
show?
There's something going on at 3 p.m. Eastern.
The only thing we've announced is the Age of Empires live stream. I don't think they've announced all the other details outside of what you guys.
Well, from what I've heard, they're going to stream these interviews, kind of like Xbox Daily when they did the whole E3 thing. So they're going to do that, but they're not going to do a whole
Like a
conference
full-on
show on stage with giant TV and you know, trailers or anything like that.
Yeah, there'll be more details as it gets closer.
Yeah. For
Yes,
sure.
You know,
but
for me,
that's from what I heard.
Gamescom-
Yeah.
Gamescom always, the cool thing about Gamescom is it seems like it's got just a little extra polish. Like, devs have had a few more months since they put together the E3 demo, and games are a little bit closer to the final product that we'll see in the fall. So, you know, I think you generally see a little bit more, and it looks a little better usually. In most cases.
August 22nd, right? So when you think about D-Day, which is really starting in September, yeah, those games, they usually need 2 or 3 weeks before they go to certification. So yeah, a lot of what you're playing that time is really close to final.
Yeah. Cool. Gamescom always reminds me of like it's just a huge PAX kind of event.
But
Oh, yeah, big
with
time.
bigger AAA
Yeah,
titles. and
huge.
stuff.
Yeah, bigger.
The US needs
Huge.
a Gamescom. I wish E3 would turn more into like a Gamescom.
Well, they kind of did something, you know, this year with like they had like 15,000 fans that could buy and come in,
Yes and no.
have some fun, enjoy.
I mean, they tried, but
So
they didn't
negative
have
tonight.
enough booth for you to try the games.
Yeah, Gamescom is definitely more for. There's a lot more in terms of trying to get people to play stations. Like I remember the EA one. The EA one, it's like there are literally 50 to 75 stations for people to sit down and play the games, right? So it is definitely a hands-on show, and that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Like I'm looking forward to I'll check out the Blizzard booth because they always have a really cool place for playing like Hearthstone, and
Diablo.
then I know there's Diablo, and then there's gonna be a lot of tournaments there.
We could
which
just
is
stop
always
at Diablo. It's fine. We don't have to go any further.
Wow.
And Farm Simulator always has a really awesome booth, which I always just get a kick out of. So that'll be cool. Go get some pictures on a combine. You know,
That's
Like you-
awesome.
good selfies. Like my phone will take selfies too. Like which is good.
The selfies.
The selfies. Nice. Let's talk about some Days Gone. So they showed off this cool trailer of behind a closed door demo, and honestly, like after watching it and seeing, you know, that game, I would have much rather have seen this one than what they showed on the E3 floor. Not that what they showed on the E3 floor for Sony was bad
That's
or
really-
anything.
Yeah.
It was really cool because you got to see like them use the zombies or freakers or whatever they are,
Right.
as a weapon type kind of thing. But I just enjoyed this one more because you got to see more of like how the world moves and interacts and changes, and it's kind of like Shadow of Mordor where everybody's playthrough is going to be kind of different because of the persistent world kind of thing and all that kind of stuff. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, what I wish is that they would have showed both of them, like what we saw
Yeah,
at
that's
the E3 conference and what they showed at the behind closed door demo. Because from what I heard from the reactions of it was pretty much the exact same demo that we saw at E3, but it was a different time of day. The weather was completely different, and based off of the weather and the time of day, the gameplay changed around that. Like what were they saying? Something about it was like winter, or there was like snow and stuff. So in the E3 demo that we saw, there were some wolves that attacked the character when he was out on the street. But because it was snow, the wolves, and also maybe because it was night, the wolves were not out. So that basically that didn't happen in that. Oh, zombie wolves. So the zombie wolves don't like snow. You heard it here first. But you know, it is. I think it's really cool to have that type of dynamic, persistent world, like GKB was saying, because, like you said, no one's playthrough is going to be identical. Right. You know, you may have the exact same story mission, but you're tackling it at a different time of day. People are going to be doing different things. Maybe it goes even further and deeper, and that's what I would like to see. That's what I want to see with games going forward, where, you know, if it's early morning, hey, you know, everybody's in the main hut getting their coffee, you can go sneak up and plant some traps, whereas if it's the middle of the afternoon, you know, they may have more guard patrols and stuff like that, and it makes you think, like, are they going to go even more into that, where they're going to have different shifts where people are going to be on patrol duty, and there's going to be that, like, you know, 10 minutes in between shift changes where you're going to have that opening to get into an enemy camp and stuff like that. I mean, it opens up a whole lot more that I didn't see at the E3 demo that I wish they had shown. And it kind of seems like something that they could have shown, and I'm glad they're putting this into the game.
Because, like, the first one, when you seen it, looked very scripted, you know, set up to,
like
to be
Tomb
shown
Raider.
and all that kind of stuff. And then this one was just like, oh, this is like how the actual game is going to be playing out.
Well, when we first saw it, a lot of us said, you know, this is much like Uncharted 4 and Tomb Raider. Like, it pretty much played like that. You have your
Like the
story,
third-person
and
action
yes,
adventure,
and
okay.
you just need to follow your story and go straight through. But obviously,
But don't get me
some
wrong,
things were
I
open.
love that, like,
No,
linear.
we do, but
Especially
because
because I'm a gamer now that don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, but this just adds something more to it. This adds more dynamic that allows you to actually engage more with the game differently than games that we're used to. And the fact that, one, graphically, we all seen that, like, graphically, this game does look amazing. And this game needed that, and I'm glad to see that they did that. But with, like, the different, because most zombie games that we see always only just have zombies.
They're not zombies, they're freakers.
It's a damn zombie. Just get over it. It's usually just like a standard zombie, but this, they're giving you, like, actual animals are zombies. They're giving you just regular people that you actually have to come across and be, you know, careful what you do with, like, people you think you'd be safe with. So your objective is open so widely in this game that I don't think we've seen
You can
as
attack
much.
it from every angle. And
Exactly.
All
And
Right.
you have to constantly be on your toes thinking. And what I really love is the fact that I don't think we've still seen all of it. I think there's still a lot more to this game that we haven't seen, and I'm really excited for it to release.
I hope there are, like, new types of enemies that come out at night versus what you see in the day, and something that happens at night makes it even more dangerous, because I mean, I can't help but think about Minecraft when it comes to, like, day-night cycles and how much it changes the gameplay. I mean, a lot of people, whether you play Minecraft or not, people that do play Minecraft, the first time you ever played it, if you didn't know what you were getting into, as soon as the sun went down, you're like, oh, that's pretty, there's a sunset, and then all of a sudden, like, monsters start spawning behind you and stuff like that.
I could see that.
Like, you know, that would be very interesting to see that type of dynamic as well.
It's like, oh, it sounds like my drunk dad.
Hilarious. Anybody else want to add into Days Gone? Nope.
Crickets.
Jeez.
Crickets.
All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I'm excited for Days Gone. I can't wait to go play that game. It's gonna be cool, fun time. Let's go ahead and talk about some Atari Box. So they came out, sent out a letter to all the people that signed up to the website. They're showing off some pictures and some cool renders of the Atari Box. This is what they had to say. Inspired by the classic Atari design elements, such as the iconic use of wood ribbed lines and raised back, we are creating a smooth design with ribs that flow seamlessly all around the body of the product. A front panel that we could be either wood or glass, a front-facing logo, indicator lights that glow through the material, an array of new ports such as HDMI for USB, and an SD card slot. We intend to release 2 editions, a wood edition and a black and red edition. As you can guess, these ports suggest modern internal specs. It also means that we'll be delivering classic game content, and we'll be also delivering current gaming content. Go, Mike. I know you want to, like, scream about this.
Well, I love the Atari 2600. That was the first video game console I ever played. So
You're so old, bro.
the fact that they're keeping the wood paneling and all that, like, I think that's amazing. Like, the design looks really sleek and modern, but it also looks a lot like the original Atari, and that to me means a lot. But I don't understand what they were saying when it comes to the, we have modern components. Like, well, yeah, I don't want you to come out with a new
the
console
same
that's
2600
from 1980. So I'm glad that you have USB ports, and I'm glad that you have an HDMI port, because if I try to hook up my Atari 2600 to my 4K TV right now, it doesn't look that great. So just an FYI out there. What really confused me was it's going to be able to play the classic Atari games. My cell phone from 15 years ago could play classic Atari games,
exactly.
Maybe not in color, but it could still play like Snake and Pong and all that stuff. What I want to know is, what do they mean when it says it can play modern games?
Yeah.
And
Games.
modern games is a really open-ended thing. Like, you could be playing Gears of War
about,
4,
Android mobile apps, or
right. Are we talking like Bejeweled and stuff like that, or are we talking like AAA games? I don't think it's going to be AAA games. I don't think that's what's going on the console, but because all we've really seen is a rendering of what the console looks like, we don't have the specs as far as what the size is. If I knew how big the console was going to be, that would give me a better idea of what type of games we're going to be able to play on it.
Right.
Just because
Nintendo can't get
3 teraflops.
If Nintendo has issues getting multiplayer games, why would Atari be able to get that's where my whole thing comes in again. But this also goes back to the whole profile and being able to play online, and a lot of the new features that you see in systems. But
and what kind of controller is it going to use? I mean, if you're going to come out with the USB joysticks that have one button on them like a classic Atari, I mean, yeah, you can play some modern games, but not a lot of them. So that's really going to limit yourself with the controller input. This announcement of what they have gave me more questions than what I had before they showed me anything.
Great, and that was
they
like
said ribs way too much.
They did say ribs a lot.
They said ribs a lot. Game consoles, just like it sounded like after we talked about zombies and then we kept talking about ribs, it bothered me.
We now have a console that has 3 teraflops and it renders 100 pixels in perfect 4K
and 7 ribs.
It's 7 ribs. That was
personally. I mean, I think it's a good time and a way for Atari to come back. I mean, while nostalgia seems to be driving a segment of the industry like never before. I mean, you know what I mean. There seems to be a market, but in order for that company to come back and make an impact, I mean, they obviously have to know where they stand. I don't think no matter what they do, they're going to pose a threat, obviously to the big three. But they can carve out a niche market for themselves. They can certainly, turn a profit and maybe, bring the company name back into the forefront. But they got to do a lot right. And hardware is secondary to, again, having the right games. I mean, you're not going to play this thing very long if you're going to go out and spend money and just to have the old Atari 2600 classics. I think that's an important part of it, to have the history. But they'll want to have stuff like from the Atari Lynx, from the Atari Jaguar. And overall, I have a feeling it will be based or could be entirely based off of the Android platform, and they're sub-licensing some of the games, and that's the kind of stuff I think we'll see on it most likely. And I'm sure they'll have a regular controller. Perhaps you'll be able to buy a joystick with the one button as an extra add-on. Who really knows? Cool. But there's still too many questions out there. Like Mike said, it raised a lot of questions. But personally, you don't want to see any game company fail, and they're risking a lot by coming out and not doing a decent job, no matter what console it is. They got to get a lot of things right. So hopefully they're paying attention here.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think one of the pain points I had too is is the controller. I think the controller says a lot, and that may be why they didn't show that, because they didn't want to show people the joystick with the one button or whatever.
The simpleness of it.
Even
awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, even though if that's what it is, that's fine. If you come out and say that that's what you're going to do, you're just going to play Atari games. And
Mike's face.
Well, and that's what I want from classic Atari games, is the joystick with the one button controller. I mean, I want to go back and play a lot of these Atari games that were the first video games I ever played.
NES, then.
Yeah, but I don't know.
That already exists, doesn't it? I thought there was.
Yeah, they had a flashback thing.
Yeah, they got a lot of those.
You can go to Walmart right now and buy.
Makes those.
You can buy a joystick that has an HDMI out port that you plug straight into your TV that has 20 classic Atari games on it. So I'm really curious as to what their aim is with this.
I want to see new stuff from them, actually.
I want to see a redone Jaguar controller with 50 bajillion buttons.
Oh God, please no, please no.
Nice.
What I want to do is I want to get on Mixer and co-stream Pong when this comes out.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
I would totally do that.
Like,
Absolutely.
it'll be like somebody will be streaming Anthem and Pong at the same time. And it's just, where we came from.
Well, you know,
Exactly.
you know how we've seen that thing like the Power of X advertisement. They should do one like the Power of One, and it's just a simple big red button on a shirt or something like that.
Awesome.
That would be awesome.
4K Pong.
I don't know, like for me,
man.
like when I first heard about like the Atari Box on the initial announcement, like with the website and all that kind of stuff, I was hopeful for this, and I still kind of am. I do have the worries
a little bit.
that
Yeah.
Mike has with the, is it going to be like just an Android-based kind of system? But if they do come out and say, hey man, this got whatever T-flops and whatever else they want to put in, it's going to run third-party games, I'm excited for that because I think competition in the industry is a really good thing. It pushes innovation and everything like that, and I would like to see another party get in there and mix it up with the big three. I think it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
see
completely
all
agree.
of- Oh, sorry, Fox, go.
No, well, I was just gonna say I agree. I want this console to be its own console and have its own games. And why not throw in some indie games and some AA games? I don't know if it's gonna have AAA titles, and then bring back some of their old titles and just revamp them. That's what I want to see from that. But now, I don't know what they're going with it. So I'm kind of just gonna keep an eye on it, like I said before. I'm still interested, just not as hyped as I was when they first announced it. I do like that new console, like the color that they showed for it, that black and red one.
Mhm.
I like that one.
Yeah,
That was
I
pretty
like
cool.
that too.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. We talked about too, like the whole like Pitfall series going to like this Uncharted, like Tomb Raider kind of thing, and I think, that would be so awesome. I'd be like, let's go ahead and
Yeah.
swing over this thing with gators like trying to jump up at you.
Yeah, they got so many titles under their belt. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Do it.
It looks cool though. It looks all like futuristic.
I mean, Atari's got enough like relationships out
Yeah.
there. I mean, I don't know like per se, but I think they got a lot of relationships out there in the industry, and
if
you
you
know,
want
their
to know
name still
my
carries
whole
weight.
opinion on this, just go watch the Daily Show from yesterday. I'm not repeating all of it. I said a lot.
Oh wow. Oh.
She's not talkative right now.
Another
did.
shameless
I said a
plug.
lot.
Go ahead,
Maybe
Ruby.
no G and Celine Dion. I think it's going to be awesome.
I agree.
How does Celine Dion have anything to do with a console?
Nothing. It just felt like some levity was needed.
Oh, okay. Okay. I gotcha.
Oh my gosh. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our other segment of the night, and that is Foxy Deals. Let's go play the intro.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's a song.
Hey, that's a steal. It's Foxy Deals. Hey, that's a steal. It's Foxy.
All right, Foxy, what kind of deals are you going to make me spend all kinds of money on this week? Oh,
Hey, what's up, everybody? I got the Foxiest deal, so get ready to spend that money, especially if you're really interested and you just kind of held off on it for so long. So yes, let's start on the Xbox deals with gold. Some of the games that stood out to me was Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Holy crap, this game's $5.
What?
Why not? Pick that up. I have it. I've had it since not since it came out. I got it a couple of weeks after, so I got it for $20. I had a deal, so I picked it up with Doom. So $5, that's a steal. Another game that stood out to me, I love, and I always played this when it came out. So Battlefield 4 is also $5. So yeah, pick that up. Why not? Especially if you don't like the Neo one, because it's old school and you like modern. Battlefield 4 is modern weapons and modern combat. So the premium pass is also on sale for that, and that's $12.50. So if you want to pick it up, you got all the maps and all that good stuff. And then the other thing I saw, there was an indie game that I saw SheWulf playing on Mixer. It was Black and White Bushido, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that was $9.09. So that's on sale as well. Over on the PlayStation side, PlayStation Plus discounts, they have a bundle for Inside and Limbo, and that's $15. They have Super Shot, both the regular version and the VR version, and they're both $20 if you guys want to pick that up. And Snake Pass is $10 on the PlayStation.
Snake Pass is so fun.
Yeah, especially if you get it on sale. some online deals I found for you guys. Some online deals I found over on Amazon. You guys could pick up Tekken 7, which recently just came out, but this one is the collector's edition for the Xbox One. It's $80. So yes, it's cheaper than the PlayStation version. I think that one's $100. And yeah, that's recently. Also, we got Super Street Fighter 4, which is recently a back and pat title, like I said. But over at Walmart, you can get it for $10 if you don't have the digital version. GameFly is having a sale for their used games, so most of their AAA titles are on sale right now for like $15. So pick those up, but remember they are used, like I said. So, over on Amazon again, we have The Walking Dead Telltale series season 3. That is $13. I might have to pick that up because I love having all those Telltale games physically and digitally for my collection. And the last one, shout out to Timodos. Over on the PC, they have a humble bundle for the Telltale games with different Telltale games. They have Minecraft, they have Walking Dead, they have Tales of the Borderland. They have a lot of great ones on there. So those are the deals that I found for you guys. And shout out to Tim. Like I said, he sent me that. And if you guys have anything, let me know on Twitter. Share it with me. I'll share it with everybody else. And yeah, back to you guys.
Nice. That Humble Bumble. I love that thing, man. Like, get so many games for cheap.
Yes.
Well, right now, if you guys are looking to upgrade, so you have an old model PS4 or the original Xbox One, you can trade it into EB right now and get a massive trade credit and get an Xbox One S or a PS4 Slim for just $99. So just putting that out there, it's not too bad if you're looking to upgrade at least for the time being. And also with EB Games, you can get an Xbox One S for $349, and you also get a free copy of 4K Fate of the Furious to go along with it. So you can pick whichever console you want, basically, and you get a movie to go with it. So not a bad way to start.
Hey,
remember,
pick the console that plays
Canada.
4K Blu-rays.
$349 in Canada, folks, by the way.
It's like $2 million US.
Newf's been on a tear with that.
Hugs. If you guys want to get free hugs, just come.
Well,
no
in case you didn't know,
Nice.
Robbie, or you haven't heard, Nintendo is jacking up their games this fall to $99.99 in
That's
Canada
so
for
crazy,
Switch.
bro.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're kicking us where it hurts. That's a $40 difference than the US version for whatever freaking reason. I've been reaching out to Nintendo for answers. They will not comment, so.
Ouch.
Damn.
Ouch, ouch. Ouch.
Because I know our currency's not that great. I think we're sitting at just about 75 cents per US on the dollar, but it still doesn't. The math still doesn't add up to why their games are going to be $99, and that's Mario Galaxy, Xenoblade Chronicles, and what's the other one? Pokemon.
I just hope they're not using Canada as a test market to do a price increase here in the States.
Oh man, people will lose.
Probably
their mind.
so. They just
Although
think
it
we're
has-
stupid up here anyway.
It's been quite a while since we've had an increase on price for video games here in the
games, yeah.
States.
I think that's why we get a lot of DLC and microtransactions and all that kind of stuff. They got to make that money somewhere.
Yep.
They went, hey, they elected Trudeau. They must be dumb.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next
Guys-
topic. We're going to go to getting some VR, guys. And this is my not so favorite topic
Then why'd you pick it?
because it's cool to talk about. Other people like VR. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean
sass right there. That was like what?
she's always sassy. It's all good. So there's been a lot of Oculus VR in the news lately with the price and a new headset coming. Looks like they're going to be making some cool little mobile-y type no wires VR headset, which is kind of cool. Here's what they had to say. According to the source, speaking to Bloomberg, Oculus is planning to release a standalone VR headset next year that will occupy the space between PC and smartphone power hardware. Reportedly priced at $200, the headset is intended to offer a middle ground between existing VR options, both in terms of price and power, and aims to help encourage widespread adoption of the consumer VR. The headset is due out in 2018. But the Oculus plans to reach out to developers this October to build the system library ahead of its launch. Roby, are you into any VR stuff? Do you have a VR headset at all?
Yeah, I have PlayStation VR, I have Oculus, and I have Hive.
Oh, nice. How do you like the VR? Because I'm not a big fan of VR. I tried the Vive, I tried the Oculus. I'm not a big fan of the thing on my face and losing all perspective outside.
Honestly, I like for instance, I played the Ubisoft, the Eagle one.
Yeah.
There have been some really amazing experiences, right? Like Star Trek Bridge Commander. Even though like it got, I think it's like taking it in like small like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like small encapsulated moments. It has been really cool.
Strides.
The one Elite Dangerous on VR was phenomenal, right? And I don't want to play it any other way.
Yeah.
So that one, like there have been stuff that has definitely hooked me. The problem is that my wife and my kids, like for them, it's like, you know, they're like, if I'm in the office playing games, that's one thing, but when I'm playing VR, it feels like it's completely closed off. So I think I've actually had more tissue rejection from them playing it than I have had playing it, so to speak. But I do have to say, like, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's my biggest fear about VR is like not just the wife and kids, but like if I were to really get into VR, we have 4 cats in my house, and now we just picked up a ferret. Like I'm gonna be killing animals left and right if I can't see what's around me. So, I mean, VR looks really interesting. I haven't been sold on it yet. I think I will be at some point in the future. I just don't know if it's there yet for me.
And I think that's why this announcement is so important, right? Like, because getting to the point where you have cableless VR, right? Like, I think that is where it's going to be to where it's just a standalone headset. That's going to make a big difference, right?
Yeah.
I think you've heard Sony, you've heard all of the big players talk about like when you want to make it mass adoption is where, like a Switch, if you can just put it on your head and you can go play, that's when I think it'll get in there.
Nice.
I don't know if SheWulf is basically saying like so it's like it's behind, so it looks like she's texting. I don't know if she thinks my idea is so good she's just tweeting it out, or like I don't know what's going on.
We have a family member in the hospital, and I just got an update. So
that makes me feel terrible. I quit.
Wow. It got serious real quick.
She was going.
It did. Like I was trying to do a joke, and like in the end, like wow, I
just shut you down.
She was going for surgery, so I'm just waiting for updates. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, we hope.
I don't even know what to do anymore. Like it's like super awkward right now.
It's okay.
Well, so does anybody think that this price cut that the Oculus is getting right now,
Dude, it's so
is that
tempting.
because?
Good.
It's better.
All right, tempting. Do we think the price cut that we're seeing right now is just a temporary sale, or is it because they're trying to liquidate their units to make room for this new version coming out?
Well, the sale, like they have for $399, which is super tempting for the Oculus with the move controls and all that kind of stuff. But they said after the sale, it's still going to be pretty low because they're going to have both of those for I think it was $499, so it's only going to go up like $100, which still is a really good deal.
Yeah.
For an Oculus for sure.
You know, and the bottom line is here's the big question, right? Is it that the market doesn't want VR, or is it just the fact that VR has been still to the point where it's affordable per se, but it's still not mass market affordable, and anything, you know, to be a super success and anything for developers to really clamp down on and go full bore is when it becomes a mass market item where, you know, where they can develop for, you know, across the board. But you know, because the PlayStation VR just had a bit of a drop. I think it might be a temporary sale, but I mean, bringing it down is never a bad thing. The more people that get them in their homes and try it out means more games sold. It means more word of mouth, and you know, word of mouth is what it really takes to sell these things. You know, and you know, and hopefully, like I said, VR keeps improving it. I think it's a really cool technology. I don't want to see it go away. I think there's room for it. Like I said, it needs some work, like people are pointing out in the chat, and I think it's coming, especially as the hardware continues to get more powerful. I think the Xbox One X and a lot of the new PCs are in that ballpark, and hopefully by the next iteration of consoles, we'll see a big move forward, but we'll see what happens.
I think honestly, if you think of everything when you do an experience as like a funnel, right? And we do a lot of this when we talk about making games as a funnel analysis. First you got to go downstairs, and then you got to set up the headset, and then you have to boot up your PC. And there's just a lot of steps to get to the point where you actually play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing is like as you go through each one of those, and people, you know, just they visualize and they think about that. So the barrier to entry to even get into it is pretty high, right? So on top of just the cost stuff, there's also just the process of playing a game. Like when you play Xbox, like you sit down, you push a button, you turn on your TV, you're playing a game very, very quickly. It's not like that with VR. And so I think that's the thing is like you're looking at companies who are trying to make that a smoother and faster experience. And I think having a standalone Oculus, like where you just put it on your head and you grab a controller and you're playing, that will make a big difference in terms of people's ability to just be like, oh yeah, it's really easy for me to just sit down, put on a headset, and go.
Right.
Has anybody here read Ready Player One?
Oh yeah, there's a movie coming out.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. There is a movie coming out. Well, I'll tell you what. When VR gets to the point where it's like it was described in that game, where you have haptic feedback gloves and in full body immersion in one way or another, like I will be totally on board for VR when it comes to that.
Oh, like like the
Full
holodeck and
body,
stuff from like
so
Star Trek.
I guess you like the whole porn things that they've been releasing lately.
No.
my God.
I was thinking more like Dark Souls, where when I pick up a
Good night,
sword, I
everybody.
can feel the weight of the sword in my hands and feel the resistance as I'm, beating against somebody else. And
Wow, there's
I
like
just said
sword
we didn't
resistance
talk
and
about VR
beating it
porn.
all
I'm
in one
Sword.
sentence.
Wow.
Like those are all keywords. Yes.
Exactly. I picked up that
I'm
too.
done.
Yeah, nice keywords
done.
there.
Magic Mike is out.
Well, you do
I was
dance
like-
on poles.
I was like sword.
My only
resistance,
thing-
what?
So my only thing about the whole VR, it seems like a really cool concept, but I just find it funny. Growing up, our parents always told us, don't sit too close to the screen, you're going to screw up your eyes. And they would make you
Right?
move back and go sit back on the couch. You scoot
True.
back up, go look at the TV, and they tell you, get back, it's going to ruin your eyes. But now they're putting things literally like right in front of your face. Is this actually okay for your eyes? Like,
No. Your parents were lying to you. They just want you to get out of the way.
I mean, really, you really know what we're talking about? Like we just think that stuff. It's like I can't even tell you how many times my kids like whatever. But I think it's fine. I'm sure we've tested it. Nobody's eyes.
no,
I'm sure we tested it.
They
I
I'm
think
pretty
they-
sure.
It's okay. He
Well,
thinks they
now-
tested it.
Don't they say that, like, you shouldn't really use VR unless you're, like, 12 years old or older because they don't want to mess up the way that your eyes, like, focus on things at a distance?
Yes, the way
Yeah.
they're developing. Yes.
Yeah, there is an
don't.
age limit,
The thing is that like a lot of that stuff is because there hasn't been enough studies, and given how new it is, right? Like they'd rather
Be safe.
if they have any information, it's better to be safe than sorry. You know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, because if some kid just goes blind just by some chance, not even
And
have to do
contribute
with
it to
VR,
VR. It's like over.
but it could, like, literally, the kid could get poked in the eye and someone, like, but he played, like, VR, like, an hour before, and they're like, the VR did this, it's their fault.
yeah, you're,
Oh, is
you're
he
absolutely
playing
right.
VR
Look
porn?
at violence in video games, right? Like how long is like
Yeah.
there's been tons of study that show that there's no connection between the two, but yet it always comes up, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
And I still deal with parents who know who I work for games, and this is my favorite subject. It's just like, then they feel like it's my job to educate them, and then they're like, so I let my son play, Evil Within 2, and he's 4. Is he going to kill other people? And number one, I'm like, why is he playing that game? He's 4. Like, no, he's not. But you're still a disturbed parent, and you should go away.
Wow, we let
Wow.
our 6-year-old watch Walking Dead. What's that say about us?
He's gonna be
Man,
awesome when he grows up.
Our 5-year-old, like, comes down and watches The Walking Dead. Like, she just sneaks out of her bed and we don't even know it, so...
I know.
just like-
yeah.
I want you kids to know when the zombie revolution hits, this is how you do it.
I guess what we're learning is that all of us are very responsible parents. That's what
Exactly.
Hey, my kids are just... All right?
Exactly. I don't know. I'm still excited about VR. I'm kind of on the fence still, but the $399 price point right now for the Oculus is really wearing at me.
I'm fine with going, as long as it's not cordless, because, like, one, my biggest issue is I have a dog that literally is, like, at my feet. Like, he's literally sleeping at our feet right at this very moment. And if I had, like, a bunch of cords and, like, a thing on my face, chances are he's probably going to knock me into the TV.
That'd be
Or
cool.
you're going to strangle the dog.
No, he wouldn't get strangled. He would literally just
He'd
probably
yank you
knock me
around.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could chew through the cords. That's normal, right?
No, he won't chew. No, he doesn't chew stuff like that.
That's
Okay.
cats.
Not yet.
Oh, damn.
He's like, that's
My-
cats.
Did you just
My
say
cat-
not
my
yet?
cat-
He's like 3.
My cat did that with my Xbox headset a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Cats love to chew on cords. I don't
She
know
was
what
like,
it
"Fuck
is.
your headset, you don't need a wire."
Dog chewed up a cord on one of your Xbox controllers.
Yeah, back on the OG Xbox.
Yeah, Bruiser. Yeah, Bruiser chewed up one of his cords. So
So mad.
Look at the morning mixer video on demand. You can have my puppy chewing on my Astro 50, so there's that too.
Dang.
wow.
I'd be like freaking out on that one. Cool. All right, let's go and move on. Probably got one more topic and then maybe some questions from the chat. Get your questions, people. We got Roby here. He's going to answer all your Microsoft questions for you.
I don't know.
Yeah, all of them.
Every single one.
I don't know what to do anymore.
She's like, no comment, no
The
comment.
Dirty secrets.
Which one do you want to do next, SheWulf?
None of them. Call of
Oh,
Duty.
Oh,
Ready to Call of Duty?
wow, she
Either
said
COD.
none of
None of them.
She's like Call of Duty. All right, so Call
Going
of
from
Duty.
VR to zombie. That's how we roll.
Yep, for sure, because I love zombies. Call of Duty World War II Zombies trailer leaked, and it's terrifyingly great. I was kind of sad because the founder and co-founder of Sledgehammer were really not too happy about this, which is understandable. It's a fantastic trailer, and they wanted to show it off at San Diego Comic-Con and all that kind of stuff. But it leaked early. Yay for us, but not so
Yay
good
for us,
them.
yeah.
What was it? I saw somebody on Twitter today though. They were like, "Is anything really a leak anymore nowadays?"
Well, yeah. I
Yeah,
think this
they-
one was because they were kind of pissed off about it.
It sucks. It really does, because there's a lot of stuff that we do around those things that are to help amplify, etc. And then when we can't, like, it really throws off a lot of people's work. It hurts more than just the person, the company. It hurts a lot of people who put a lot of work in about how that thing is going to get released.
Right.
So yeah, it sucks. It sucks for us.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Let's have a moment of
people.
silence for people.
Leaks are actually leaks.
Yeah, I feel bad now. Damn, I was gonna say a joke, but never mind.
No,
No.
you should still say it, right? Because I had my awkward moment with the whole making fun. Let's keep it
No,
going.
but like it's the nature of the beast. Like this is how it is now. Like we accepting it that this is normal. That I'm expecting more stuff coming out about Call of Duty tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like or any other game. So
Is that a joke?
Yeah, I mean, huge kudos.
no, I changed it up. It's fine. It's fine. SheWulf, I'm okay.
You know, huge kudos to the studios and Microsoft for doing one hell of a job this year at nailing down leaks before E3. Like everything was, we talked about this numerous times, and they kept it tight-lipped, and it was a good thing because the show had a lot of surprises, and that's a nice thing. Whereas last year, I mean, everybody knew about the S before it launched, and a bunch of different things, so it was nice. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just. Like nobody really benefits from a leak. I mean, I don't even get what the person who actually leaks it, like what benefit do they actually see? Are they getting paid to do it, or is it just shits and giggles kind of thing? I don't know.
No, it's. I mean, people want their 15 minutes of fame, like
yeah.
internet famous and stuff like that, right? And so they want to be that person who be in the know, right? It's social constructs and social nature that, like, I have a secret. I mean, I think humans in general just hate being surprised, right? They want to know everything because they like to be in control. And then B, it's like they want to share. And so if they have something that makes them that just feeds that inner part of their id and ego, right? They're going to do it.
Yep. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Psychology.
Exactly. It is.
Well,
I tweeted them. I said, "Hey, sucks for you, but guess what? It was awesome to watch." So
it
Yeah.
was really awesome.
I think that was the benefit of it. Like, if there is a benefit to the leak to them, is that they really did work hard on it, and it showed, and it was a fantastic trailer.
and this is
And
gonna
showed
make
off a
people
great
want it more.
Yeah.
Like,
It makes me.
And it sucks. That's really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
it really
Right. That's like
makes me
double.
wanna see the finished version of the trailer when it does release officially.
Yeah, yeah. And plus, like at the Comic-Con, I'm sure they're gonna even like talk about the actual mode itself more, give people more like who's
Yeah,
gonna be in it and
definitely.
all that kind of stuff too. So they still have more to talk about.
so trailer itself, Nazi zombies, people, Nazis,
Super
zombies, zombie army.
About that time,
Hitler.
finally.
Oh my God, it was
Bring it
creepy as
back.
hell.
They're staying true to their word about going back to
They
the roots
are.
of
The
Call of
whole,
Duty.
like,
What
it's
was
like-
What was the first Call of Duty game that had the zombies
World at War.
multiplayer in it?
Yep, World at War.
World at War.
Okay, because none of the Call of Duties that I've played that I can remember had a zombies mode, so I've never played a Call of Duty Zombies. Don't hate. But
Whoa.
Wow,
everybody
bro.
knows I'm really excited for this World War II Call of Duty.
So
because,
this is Mike's
you know,
last Console Corner podcast.
Damn.
No. This is the first Call of Duty that I've wanted to buy since I want to say like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I think that was the last one that I like really got into. So seeing the zombies trailer is like, oh, this is going to be an extra that I'm really going to get into because it looked freaking awesome.
Yes.
I
loved
loved-
Infinite Warfare. I just loved it.
Infinite
So,
Warfare?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
Infinite
mean,
Warfare was great.
yeah, basically it was like a F-22 and an F-23 mashed together in that
Right.
plane. The Jackal was fantastic.
It was. Like you can
And-
hover around, move, and do all that kind of cool stuff. Oh,
With
so
thrust vectoring and like understanding, like there is a lot more physics to that plane than you would think, and I think that they nailed the gameplay for that. I was really bummed that they didn't like it, and I liked the story, and
good. The campaign was fantastic. Like one of the best
I was
ones.
bummed yeah, like when you jumped off and you're basically on Jupiter and like it's there in front of you, I was like, this is amazing. So
absolutely, I totally agree, 100%. I even like the multiplayer of Infinite Warfare.
I
really loved when they had Hitler talking at the beginning, and it's literally just showing like rusted doors and going to a hallway.
It reminded me of that movie, like I was saying, like The Outpost, that zombie movie where they're down in the bunker and all that kind of stuff. It had just that vibe, that claustrophobic, like freaking out, like getting chased by zombies everywhere.
You know what it really reminded me of? Wolfenstein, like not the new Wolfenstein games that we've seen this generation, but like from the early 2000s. Does anybody remember Return to Castle Wolfenstein?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like that was the total feel that I got from that trailer there. I was like, oh, this is totally up my alley because that was, a PC game that I loved, 17 years ago?
Yep, absolutely. I'm super excited about Call of Duty Zombies. It's going to be fantastic.
I think it looks awesome, even though I don't really like scary stuff. This is really intriguing, and at the same time, it just fits well with the whole zombie thing. I didn't like what they did last time with the zombies. It was straight up trash, in my opinion.
You stop it right now.
They were trying so hard, and it was like, no. You're not Dead Rising. Get out of here. You're not Dead Rising. Trying to do all goofy shit. I like it when they do the serious, like scary stuff. And I know, like I said, that's not me, but it fits with that. And I'm interested to play that and be scared running around streaming this.
Well, just remember one thing, Fox, that those zombie modes are generally, they're not all that scary because you're playing usually with co-op partners, and the big challenge is to find a team that you really gel with, because I've played it with randoms before that don't use mics, and it gets stupid hard later on in the game. So like that's a big thing. Get a good team, be able to communicate, know who's doing what role. It's like a survival thing, it's not all that scary, but
no, but like the trailer was scary to me. It creeped me out. Right. But I know that the actual gameplay, usually when I do play zombie modes, it's just the anxiety, the fact that you got to run around and survive. That's what gets me, not actually the way the zombies look. So yeah.
Well, you know what I find helps is if you play the game wearing a Snuggie.
Does it make you feel all warm and cozy?
Do you have one of the Xbox One Snuggies?
I have Xbox One. I have an Xbox One onesie. I can go.
Do you? Oh. Can I have it? I will buy it from you, please.
Oh, okay.
I want one so badly.
Wow.
Oh, that's my security blanket. That's like my Linus blanket. Like when I play.
Can you send me one?
SheWulf mooching right now.
I want one so badly, but they don't sell them here.
I agree with Mega Badspeed in the chat though.
There's a company that's fake that keeps trying to get people to send them money, but yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh well, see, now I gotta watch where I freaking buy one.
Mega Badseed in the chat, he's like, I want to see Spec Ops return. I agree, man. I'd love Spec Ops 2. I wouldn't say it's better than Zombies to me, but I absolutely love that mode when they brought that out too, man. It was a really good time. Really good time.
I want Infinite Warfare 2.
Infinite Warfare 2. I want Advanced Warfare 2.
I want Advanced Warfare 2.
Love Advanced Warfare. That was another good
I don't agree with any of that.
Kevin Spacey. Oh,
you don't like Advanced Warfare?
I passed.
Only because I play with you on there, but that's
I'm firing all the Console Corner crew after the show, just by the way.
Wow.
You're not firing me ever.
Goodbye, everyone.
Mike, we got some questions?
Yeah, we got some questions. So first question I saw was from Mega Bad Seed. He wants to know, could the Atari use Xbox's servers and be cross-play with the Xbox?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, the thing is like when you look at, I think for Minecraft, I think crossplay is a super interesting thing. I don't think anything's out the window, right? You saw how Phil was with that stuff, and so
he's all for it. So.
Phil's all about it, right? In some of the stuff. So I have no idea what's being talked at that level. I'm not XLT, so yeah, I don't think anything's out of the.
So basically, Pong for Xbox Live confirmed. All right.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I'd be down. I think if Atari approached them and be like, "Hey, can we use Azure servers and do crossplay and all that kind of stuff?" I totally think Xbox would be open to that for sure.
Yep, Pong with using Kinect.
Absolutely.
Body Pong.
Body Pong would be awesome. Yeah, everybody be like fatigued after the first couple of goals.
Hey, I got my steps in for the day.
Yeah, for sure. What's our next question?
All right, so another question from Fastback247. He wants to know, when games like Crackdown 3 get judged in a negative way before the full game is revealed, does this hurt the sales?
So he's talking about like social media kind of.
Yeah, I think he's talking about like some of the flack that's been getting for its visuals and whatnot that we've seen in the last week or two. Do you think this is gonna hurt the sales of the game overall?
It hurt Quantum Break. And I find it hurt Recore too. So I'm hoping that it won't. I'm hoping that it'll have enough legs to stand on. But we have seen it previously that it has hurt games.
I think
it depends on the gamer.
It's weird to think that a negative reviews, specifically closer to launch, if we get negative reviews, of course it affects us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Kind of-
because casual gamers see reviews. They look at that kind of stuff. That's like they don't go to like their friends. Like most of the time, casual gamers, they don't go to like obviously like what we see and how we pay attention to the games and we actually spend our time investing in these games and learning about these games. Casual gamers don't do that. They'll Google and say, okay, so what was this game rated? And if people put a bad score on something, they're like, oh crap, I'll wait.
Actually, most of them are informed via social, right? Like, so actually, it's actually people like there's usually a person who's within their social circle who they're asking,
Yeah.
and that person he'll be like, well, IGN gave it a 4 out of 5, or 4 out of 10, so I don't know if I'd pick that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, your point is still valid. Yes, I would say that yes, negative reviews obviously hurt sales.
So
that's the easy correlation.
Roby, this actually brings a follow-up question for me then to you personally. Like, when it comes to Metacritic, where it kind of like lumps in all of the reviews into one aspect, is that something that you working on games, do you pay close attention to that after a game comes out?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, and sometimes it's like, of course we do, right? Like reviews are always a tough time, especially when you work on, like, because I worked on Two Human and that did not review well. And that's always hard. And a lot of times we knew about the things that were going to happen before they happened, right? But we work hard, and of course we listen. And then a lot of that stuff, we'll go in and we'll react to that stuff when we can. Like, I think CD Projekt Red and people like Mass Effect looked at that stuff, and then they used those plans to build community patches. I mean, I work on Age 2 HD, and when we released the DLC, we looked at what the community feedback was, and then we built a community roadmap of feedback for us to respond to them. So yeah, we always look at reviews, and that helps us build for balance patches, etc. moving forward. But in some games, right, like if a game just doesn't do well and there's decided that we're not going to do any patches or anything because it just doesn't make financial sense, then yeah, sometimes it's just kind of like, it's out there, and you're like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Roby, and I don't like with this one. I don't know if you can or cannot answer, but I'm just going to toss it out. You can pass it over if you can. At what stage or phase, I guess, does the publisher and the developer, in sense, because you're kind of all part of one, consider a game a success? Because some games, they sell really well at the gate. Like some games will do, $1.5 million in its launch week. Some games kind of drag themselves out over time. So when do you find it's, when can you gauge success of a product? Can you say or not?
That is so completely title dependent, right? Because a lot of times, like, it might be, I mean, just hypothetical examples, like it might be a game does really well, but a license problem comes up, or there's an issue with the developer, or there's a lot of things, right? So success, I mean, we could have games that are super successful that are right off the bat, but then the reason you don't see a sequel is because of some other completely unrelated reason. We have what we define as success on a title per title basis, right? And there's financial and all sorts of things that go through that, right? But yeah, it's like just because you don't see a sequel or whatever it was may have nothing to do with whether the game was successful or not.
Gotcha.
Right.
Very interesting.
And the games itself, do they normally, and again, you may or may not be able to answer, the games themselves, do they have generally a set budget where everything has to fall underneath a certain amount of money, or is it kind of a thing where they kind of give you a rough idea of how much you're willing to invest, and then basically, depending on the time of development, the resources it needs, how many people you got to hire, can that escalate, or is it you kind of got to fit in under the cap? So if they're only going to give you, say, $25 million to build this game, at some point you just got to cut off production because you're just going to go way over.
Yeah, and I think again that's title dependent as well too, right? Like it's not every game. Some games have set budgets, right? And some games there's options, right? It all depends. Like for Halo, it might be Halo's treated very differently than, say, for instance, a new IP or an ID at Xbox game. So it just depends on the game. So it goes across the board.
That actually opens up a question that I was kind of curious about. When you're working on a game, do you want to have as much time available to work on the game, or do you feel it's better to be given a specific date when you need to have certain, basically different benchmarks done for the game? Like, we need to have a playable demo by this date. Does that drive you to finish a game at a certain point in time, or do you like that flexibility of having just work on this game and let us know when it's finished from a publisher perspective?
Well, I hate to sound weird on that one, but it's just, again, it depends. Like, so for instance, like, obviously we know holidays is a super important time. So like all in all, there are windows when it makes sense for games to basically be released. And so in some cases, like we sit there and we say, hey, when we sign this contract and we sign this game, we'll definitely want it to be a holiday of a certain year. And so there's some time boxing there, right? But then there might be other games like, for instance, games that just have long legs. For instance, an Age of Empires game where it's not as static in terms of, like for Age of Empires 2 HD, like it's not as static where it may release because the game's going to go for a long time. So it can just depend.
I gotcha.
Really in terms of when releases are. But there's a lot of science and conversation. It's a very, very big team of people who help decide stuff like that. And it's weird because there's just not a lot of visibility into that stuff, and frankly, it's just because I think watching the sausage get made, right? It's just not glamorous, but a lot of times there's a lot of like, hey, certain games do good at this time, and when we release like, say, like some sort of like, hey, we're gonna do an action zombie platform game, right? And then we look at all the other action zombie platform games and, wow, those games don't really sell very well in July, but they sell really well in this. So if we're going to do it, it'll be better to release during this time frame. Or, those games haven't historically done well when all of the big AAA games come out. So let's look at summer or whatever it was. So there's a lot of science that goes into when we release certain games.
Gotcha.
Very cool. All right, guys, we're at the 2-hour mark. I don't want to keep Roby any longer than we have to. He's been kind enough to take time out of his schedule to hop on the show with us and all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate it. Mr. Roby, what do you got going on? Where can people find you and all that kind of cool stuff?
Oh, man. Well, I work nights on the corner of 5th and... No, I'm just kidding.
Dang it. I was totally going to get in the car and go over there.
No. You can find me on Twitter at Roby1Kenobi. You can find me every weekday morning from 5:30 to 7 on mixer.com/Roby1Kenobi. We do a co-stream with the Windows Central. We're actually going to be featured on Channel 1 this next week on Monday and Friday. I'm also working on a Mixer streamer network. So I'm building a network of think of it as infomercials for streamers to basically instead of doing rating, like what you can do is you can feature, like you can have videos that you can go to a site for, download these videos and feature streamers to help budding streamers be found, right? So I'm working on some of the stuff with that. You can also follow me on Instagram and at Roby1Kenobi, and then I also have on Twitch, but I'm never there anymore. I'm super happy with where Mixer is. So, and I think most of you guys follow me on Twitter. So.
Absolutely.
I do.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I do. I don't think you follow me,
I
but
don't know who
that's
you
another
are.
story.
I'm sorry. Who are you again?
No.
Thanks, SheWulf.
I'm kidding.
You're so saucy.
I literally go and hang out with him like every morning. I'm pretty sure I know who he is.
She's a sassy girl today.
She is sassy, and she made me feel super bad. I gotta go
Well,
cry.
actually, you made yourself feel bad.
Oh, wow. She's still
I just
doing
came
it.
out and told the truth.
She's still doing it.
She's so sassy right now.
I'm mad because Crap made me feel bad. So yeah, Crap, I'm mad at you now.
How you doing, SheWulf? Where can we find you? What's going on? Since you're all sassy right now.
Why not? Everyone says I'm apparently sassy anyways. It's just pretty much Mixer. You can find me on Mixer at xSHEWULF. X with a U, not an O. That's literally everything across the board. You can find me on like Twitter, Xbox, Instagram. Well,
Whatever.
YouTube, no, because YouTube is here on Gamers Knows Best. So if you want anything here, it's here. But other than that, yeah.
Cool. Foxy, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, thank you to everybody in the chat for listening. Thank you to everyone who listens later. You guys can find me on Twitter. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing Foxy Deals there. If you guys want to send me anything, let me know. I do YouTube videos, so Lady Foxfire on there. I hang out with SheWulf on Mixer. Hopefully we could stream some Destiny 2 very soon. And obviously we have the Gaming Den. Awesome show on Friday at 1 o'clock. And if you guys missed it last Friday, go check it out. And leave us some awesome comments.
Awesome.
Wait,
Big
just
shout out.
like him. That's just not. That's not.
What did he say?
somebody thumbs downed us. I'm gonna have to reach out to that
Yeah, we
person.
will.
That one lone
One
guy.
hater. One hater.
There's that one guy every show.
We
Big
did.
shout out to the community, and thank you so much for watching the show and all that kind of cool stuff. I just want to throw it out there. Newf, what you got going on, dude?
Hey guys, you know where to find me as usual each and every Tuesday right here on the Console Corner Podcast. A big shout out to Roby for coming over and being a part of our show.
Absolutely.
Roby, it's been a fantastic experience to have you here. I think you fit right in with
Thank
us.
you. We're not
That's
worthy.
fantastic.
We're not worthy.
Yeah, I've been a little bit slacking on the videos lately, although I did put one up today, which you will see on Friday when you check out the girls' stream at the Gaming Den, which should give you a couple of good laughs, I promise. At least I think it will. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys on the Destiny 2 beta. Biggest problem I have with that now is trying to find a fire team or almost too many people wanting to play at the same time. So that's going to be crazy. But I'm hoping to get in on that, maybe stream a little as well. And yeah, guys, links are all down below. Have a great night. Thanks for showing up and supporting as always.
Mike, you're up, bro.
Hey, all of my contact information has been scrolling below at the bottom of the screen. If not, you can find it in the description down below. Hopefully, I'll be streaming a little bit this weekend, as long as a car doesn't drive into a telephone pole and knock out my internet like it did a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So, want to get back in the Shadow of Mordor. Want to try to, build up my nemesis. That's not the unbeatable nemesis that I've been afraid of for the last 2 years. And other than that, you can find me next Tuesday right here on Console Corner.
Sweet. I am GKB, the Governor. You can find me on Gamers Knows Best on YouTube and Twitter. Thank you so much for rocking out on the Gaming Report, guys. It's a new show I'm doing a couple days a week. Super fun. Thank you so much for rocking out. We love you guys as always. Thank you so much, community. You guys always rock and show up. And big shout out to Roby for hanging out with us. Super fun. He fits right in with this panel. Absolutely.
Yes,
crazy.
thank you. Love all the jokes.
Absolutely. Good
Except for
time.
that guy who one thumbed us, or girl, we will find you.
That's right. He works for Microsoft. He can search IPs.
That's it, everybody. Good night. Have a great time. We'll see you next week.
Happy Hanukkah.
Bye.
Later.